with the frowny face. I love my opponent's emote game. They hit me with the frowny face. I got nothing left. If you're hitting me with one of those, that's hilarious. I probably shouldn't have even allowed any of this to happen because when you think about it, their Kraza is going to bring... They're going to have another one. All right, let's try something. Oh, perfect. Let's play a land. I'm going to just play another body. Sure, I'll take a land. Why not? Am I dead? Oh, no. Here comes Boris, a.k.a. the Scarlet Spider, which will have Riot, so it can swing. Am I dead this turn, though? This has Trample, right? This just a 3-burger? I don't know. I just block here, then. Twitching Doll. Thank you. Thank you. Is it over, then? I'm just gonna go ahead and have this copy, right? I think it's over. They'll probably concede here, but why not? And let me see. What else can I have my creature enter as? And it doesn't matter. I win either way. I would probably just choose Terror. Ooh, I will. Should I keep this? This is a 1-lander. Can I draw a green source? No. All right. I thought about it, though, you know? I was in the tank for a moment. Oh, no, it's mono red. This is the worst timeline. Oh, boy, it's Razorkin Needle. Dude, I'm so unbelievably cooked. What am I supposed to even do here? I draw. Okay. I will pass the turn, right? Because, you know, what's the worst that could happen if I just leave you with a Bastronaut and a bunch of other things as well? Well, last I checked, taking a lot of damage is bad against mono red. I gotta do something, right? All right, I'm taking 3. No more Hellkite, please. All right, that's not a great thing to see, but I'll pass. Boy. I guess it doesn't really matter, because this looks like it's just mono red, right? Oh, boy. This is going to be a pain. Can I draw a blue source? I have them in my deck. I know I do. I swear I do. Oh, that's the worst thing I could have drawn. This hand is dangerous because I don't have all my pieces here, but I do have Bitter Triumph to discard, Steam Core, Scholar to discard. All right, sure. I guess I can pass. Sure. Discard a card. I may as well get rid of the Vein Ripper. And now I will draw 2 cards. Discard Bringer of the Last Gift. May as well just play the Starting Town. I'm curious what their next turn looks like. I'm just gonna go... Oh, they have Aven Interrupter. Very cute. Very cute. Okay, so I actually get to plot that for a 2-burger. I'll take it. Sure. Cool. I thought that would have gone way worse, but somehow. Ah. Okay. I kind of love everything that I'm seeing here. First, I'll try to play Town Greeter. See if they have something. Getting a land here is nice. I'm going to give them the opportunity here to just blow up my, I don't know, to counter this. Aven Interrupter, you got it. Next turn, though. Next turn. All right, so that is 2 Aven Interrupters gone. I can now probably just win on the back of this Cavero that I have in my hand. Oh, yeah, it's over. Sure. And let me get this right. So this, each player, the cards won't put there this turn. Okay, so it had to have been on a turn that isn't the current turn. I mean, I'm just going to swing out. Here you go. What else do I want from this? I'll just take this. That's fine. And I'll have it enter. I'm going to cast the Cavero, a.k.a. Superior Spider-Man. Let's see. All right, I got all my stuff back. The opponent does not like that, so that's GG. No, I can't keep that. Okay, this is much more doable. All right, now that there's another starting town in my deck, that just means I have...
Looking for sick.
I guess it doesn't really matter, because this looks like it's just mono red, right? Oh, boy. This is going to be a pain. Can I draw a blue source? I have them in my deck. I know I do. I swear I do. Oh, that's the worst thing I could have drawn. This hand is dangerous, because I don't have all my pieces here, but I do have Bitter Triumph to discard, Steam Core, Scholar to discard. All right, sure. I guess I can pass. Sure. Discard a card. I may as well get rid of the Vein Ripper. And now I will draw 2 cards. Discard Bringer of the Last Gift. May as well just play the starting town. I'm curious what their next turn looks like. I'm just gonna go... Oh, they have Aven Interrupter. Very cute. Very cute. Okay, so I actually get to plot that for a 2-burger. I'll take it. Sure. Cool. I thought that would have gone way worse, but somehow. Ah. Okay. I kind of love everything that I'm seeing here. First, I'll try to play Town Greeter. See if they have something. Getting a land here is nice. I'm going to give them the opportunity here to just blow up my, I don't know, to counter this. Aven Interrupter, you got it. Next turn, though. Next turn. All right, so that is 2 Aven Interrupters gone. I can now probably just win on the back of this Cavero that I have in my hand. Oh, yeah, it's over. Sure. And let me get this right. So this, each player, the cards won't put there this turn. Okay, so it had to have been on a turn that isn't the current turn. I mean, I'm just going to swing out. Here you go. What else do I want from this? I'll just take this. That's fine. And I'll have it enter. I'm going to cast the Cavero, a.k.a. Superior Spider-Man. Let's see. All right, I got all my stuff back. The opponent does not like that, so that's GG. No, I can't keep that. Okay, this is much more doable. All right, now that there's another starting town in my deck, that just means I have more value to get later if I hit a Town Greeter and I'm at the last 4 cards of my library. You know, hey, I played enough games to know that I should be counting my deck and seeing what's left. Oh, sweet. Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. We are definitely going to pick off that Llanowar Elf. No Llanowar Elf for you. Oh, they just said, hold on, I'm going to just play another elf. Okay. What does that do? Add 1 mana of any color. What? Is that a fake card? Spend 2 mana to turn permanents face up? That sounds terrifying. Okay. I am going to just play this Blooming Marsh now. I mean, all your elves are alive and well. That's a given. A Lenny. Oh, that's sick. I see you, opponent. Okay. Yeah, I mean, a Lenny's going to have to go, but sorry, Lenny. I'm going to actually just pay 3 life. I have so much life. And maybe I regret it. I'll regret it later, but I have so much life. Okay, Overgrown Zealot. We are so back. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm going to have to pass. I don't see a reason to do anything right now. They may just tap this Overgrown Zealot. Oh, baby. And then I'm going to just play the body. This would kill off my little town greeter, which is important because I want that in the graveyard for when I inevitably Harvester of Souls, but I need to find Vein Ripper as well. Llanowar Elf, sure. Infestation Sage, you got it. Oh, baby. Do I even have anything to bring back here? Not really. I'm just going to go ahead and swing out. 3, 6, 7. So at this point currently, 3, 6, 7. I can just hard cast Bringer of the Last Gift. And that to me is hilarious. Oh, man. That is very painful. What did they exile? Harvester of Misery? I mean, I'm just going to hard cast this, so now you don't have any more things to do, and I can refill my graveyard? This does give them the Elvish Archdruid line. Oh, I should have gotten the town. Oops. I messed that up. I should have gotten the town, because the town would have gained me 2 life. So they can technically pump everything this turn. If they tap Elvish Archdruid, what does this make? Oh god, what does that do? You may put a creature from among them. Okay, so at least that doesn't cast it, so Eleni doesn't just absolutely wreck me. Okay, I guess I swing out. Let's see what happens. And now what can I do? I can go and just reanimate another copy of my little friends. Okay, I think I'm going to win this the honest way, and that's kind of wild, right? Yeah, I'm going to just have it enter as another copy. Kavera will enter as another Harvester of Misery. Pass to the opponent. Like, I don't know if they can just beat my bodies. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this.
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Looking for sick merch? Well, MTGGoldfishMerch.com's got you. With this tee, remind everyone Misery is back.
This programming is rated R for rad. This content's only for serial chillers. If my decks or playstyle makes you mad, haters can stay mad and touch grass. Salty Gamers requires accompanying parent or adult. Yo, what's up? This video has been brought to you by Card Kingdom. Welcome back to another episode of Single Scoop. Spider-Man is swinging into Standard, and so naturally, that's why I'm dressed up as Venom. Okay, I actually am not this buff. I know, shocking. But regardless, all of the Spider-Man cards are now on Arena, or at least their Arena counterparts. I'm playing Norman Osborn, and then who flips into Green Goblin, or on Arena, that would be Fleam. But the main thing here is playing this card early allows us to loot, and because we're going to synergize with all the villainous stuff here. So the goal is to loot away Dr. Octopus, which I do not actually know the arena name of Dr. Octopus, but the main thing here is whatever Dr. Octopus on a line is, its ability is other villains you control get +2/+2. Your maximum hand size is 8. At the beginning of your end step, if you have fewer than 8 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. So we're going to loot that away, and then we're going to use Superior Spider-Man. And for those that know the Superior Spider-Man comic book arc, this is peak flavor here. We're doing all Doc Ock things all day long. I don't know what the in-client version of Superior is, but the main thing is it's got Mind Swap, and you may have Superior Spider-Man enter as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard, except his name is Superior Spider-Man, and he's a 4/4 Spider-Human hero in addition to his other types. When you do, exile that card. Now, keep in mind, you can do this to your graveyard, your opponent's graveyard, and the main thing here is now, if you exile Doc Ock, you can now pump your team, draw up to 8, and go wild on card advantage. So, yeah, let's see how we do in the early access event. Yeah, I keep this. The question is, do I start with Exclusive Nightclub? Very nice of them to turn Oscorp into a Capenna setting. I like that. I dig that.
Today we're cracking open around $4,000 of Spider-Man collector boosters, looking for a $20,000 super rare Soul Stone, an $800 costume change Spider-Man, or at least some cool stuff on the Marvel reprint sheet. How wrecked are we gonna get? Let's find out. So as I get things set up here, I should say, we are opening these boxes super early, and prices right now are incredibly high, even more than normal. So I have very little confidence in being able to price these cards correctly right now. I'm going to do my best. I'll use the normal, like, knock about 50% off, except for the, like, super high-end cards, which that theory doesn't seem to work as well for. But all this to say, take the prices with a bit of grain of salt, because it is still super early pre-sales. And for this set in specific, I have very little confidence in what direction this set's going to go. There's been a lot of negative reaction to Spider-Man Online. On the other hand, it has some awesome looking Spider-Man treatments. So it might end up that these prices go up, they might go down. But all this to say, I'll do the best I can, but prices are going to be kind of wonky on this one. But anyway, let's get into box number 1, Spider-Man. $820-ish $5 down the drain. Hopefully not. Hopefully all we need is one of those soul stones. That's all we need. Actually, the costume change Spider-Man are super expensive too. So let's see what we get here. Commons, don't really care. Oh my God, guy in a chair. Guy in a chair. Wizards. Wizards. I'm a guy in a chair. Don't put me on a magic card. Sandman's Quicksand. Heroes hang out. Ooh. I gotta say, the web slinging lands actually look pretty sweet in person. What do we get in a rare number? Oh no, wait, that's more uncommons? Wait, why are we getting? Oh no, that's I see. This is one of the commander cards, Venom Blast. That's a rare. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target. Oh my God, for 4 mana. Oh, those starter deck cards, not that powerful. Silk Web Weaver. Okay. Spider-Man 2099. Ooh, okay. Winds of Change. This is actually on the Marvel bonus sheet. This is currently like 5th or 6th most expensive card. It's like $25 or something. Sadly, not foil. If it was foil, it'd be worth way more. It does look nice though. And ooh, the Clone Saga foil. Wow, it almost, look at that. Look at that treatment. It almost looks scratched. It's kind of neat. Comic panel Clone Saga. So these cards are going to be the big question. Like, do these do the Final Fantasy things? If you look at the Final Fantasy set, a lot of random cards that in a normal set would be like $1 are like $3, $5, just because they're Final Fantasy. Is Spider-Man going to be like that too? Or are these cards going to drop down like a normal Magic set and be, you know, bulk level cards because they don't see that much play? Very curious. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bagel and Smear. Anyone hungry? Actually, as much as I meme on this card, I am building the Graham O'Brien deck. It is happening. The guy in his chair eating food in his garage. Web Warriors. Forest. Sweet. Jekyll. Genius Geneticist. How about another Silk? This is a small set, so we probably will get more. Ooh, there we go. There we go. So Peter Parker, unfortunately, this is not the best version of Peter Parker. The other treatment is better. This is still fine, and it is one of the more expensive cards in the set. But the comic book treatment one is more valuable than this one. What do we get behind it? Oh, Shock. That's the thing about these special sheets. You can get some really good cards, and the art always looks really good at them, but you can also open Shocks in a cheering crowd. Good for the group huggers out there. Not much in that pack. I am still disappointed. I mean, we're opening collector boosters, so it doesn't matter, because we get one in every pack, but it does still bother me that they bumped that special Marvel sheet down to 1 in every 24 packs and play boosters. You can give the people who don't want to spend $800 on a booster box some cool cards too. Wizards, Clay Pigeons, Savage Mansion, Robotics Mastery, Chameleon. How about a Schwamp? Gwenum the Remorseless. This card's pretty good. Not a special treatment, but it is foil. Basically Bolas' Citadel on a stick from the command zone. Doc Ock's Tentacles. Seems pretty good with Nova Hellkite in standard. Gonna try building that. How about a J. Jonah Jameson? Do a little Suspecting. Leyline Binding. Man, the special treatments on these Spider-Man cards look really good in person. And what is this? A Silk every... Ooh. I wonder... The other thing we saw with Final Fantasy is the art cards having value. This is a signed art card, which is the rarest of the art cards. I wonder if that's actually worth anything. Also, we have gotten a Silk every single pack. Imagine if that was a Soul Stone instead of a Silk. We would be winning already. But instead, it is many, many, many Silks. So what do you think of this set? I'm very curious what people think. I will say, as a super casual Spider-Man knower, I was not really expecting the multiverse thing with so many Spider-Man. I was expecting more like Peter Parker fighting villains. Evolving Wilds, probably better known as Vibrant Cityscape. How about some angry rabble? Aunt May might actually be kind of playable as a Soul Sister. Molten Man, Spider Bite, Mountain, Arachne. I think Arachne is pretty good. Almost a Thalia, close to a Thalia effect. Peter Parker's Camera. I don't know if this card's good or not. It's interesting that it's 1 mana, but running out of film is an issue. Mysterio. Saw in half. Excited to have this come to Arena for the first time. And just like, look at the art. Easily the best part of this set for me are these treatments. And I don't even care about Spider-Man. They look spectacular. The art is so good. And Web of Life in Destiny. Foil extended. I mean, it is Mythic. It's not one of the higher end Mythic. Oh god, Peter Porker. Oh, this set cracks me up. I don't know what's going on anymore. Where's my soul stones, Watsy? So what we are really looking for, and again, take the prices with a grain of salt because they are super early and I'll do my best, but I really am not confident in it. But the alt versions of Spectacular Spider-Man are like $800 currently. And then there's a soul stone that's like 20K. Maximum Carnage. This card's cool, a little too expensive for Maximum Carnage, okay. I mean, the comic book treatment's cool. How about a Spider-Man, Spinner and Spiderling, Hex, and Hide on the Ceiling is really good. I feel like this is one of the better cards from the set. The fact that you can hit your opponent's stuff with it is kind of huge. I feel like that card might be good even in Standard. I think it's definitely good in Commander and like Blink decks, but I think it might even be a Standard playable card, which is kind of sweet. Ooh, what do we get? What do we in our next pack? We're just gonna skip through all the bagels and smears. We'll come back to those when we're hungrier. How about an island? Future Flight. Carnage, Crypt and Chaos. Very interested to see if we can have a Mayhem deck in Standard. It seems possible, especially now that they're talking. What is this? This has to be something, that green border. We'll get to that in a minute. Agent Venom, kind of a Midnight Reaper, and speak of Venom, Skitherix, Venom King in Black, and what is this card? Ooh, that's a hit. That's a hit. This is the good one. This is the Peter Parker you want. We opened that one earlier, which I don't know where I put it, but this Peter Parker that flips into the comic book Amazing Spider-Man on the short list of most expensive cards from the set. I can't remember exactly. It might be like 60, 80. Actually, it might be over 100. I might be misremembering. But anyway, easily our biggest hit so far. And it does look cool. I really like the art on the backside. No idea where the rules text are. Oh, there it is. It does look neat. Just like look at that art. It's so funny because I find the comic book art nostalgic just because it's retro, even though I'm not really a comic book guy, but it's still like oddly nostalgic for me. Well, that was our best open so far. We could still use a soul stone. That would be sweet. All right, let's skim through these commons. The commons in this set are so bad. Oh my god, they're bad. They're so bad. I mean, if you didn't hear the Radioactive Spider, if you didn't hear the story of this set, I really like the rare lands. The rare lands also one of my favorite parts of the set. Origins of Spider-Man, Hunter's Insight with rare lands also one of my favorite parts of the set. Origins of Spider-Man, Hunter's Insight with cool art, and Death of Gwen Stacy. We get a little comic book panel here. Gwen Stacy, Spider-Man pushes her off the roof for some reason. Then I guess he feels bad about it and then goes down and is like, oh, why did I do this? Why is that guy flying over me? I'm pretty sure that's how the story goes. But if you missed the story of this set, so originally this was supposed to be a small Assassin's Creed set with 0 commons in it. And then they moved it to Standard and decided they needed to make it a big set. So they added in all the uncommons late in the... It was supposed to have 0 commons. And the commons in this set, I think, you can tell. You can tell they were added in at the last... I mean, some of them are fine. But some of them, you can tell they kind of maybe came in at the last second. All right, what do we get? Another Spinner and Spiderling. Villainous Wrath. This card's going to be fun in Commander. Is a Wrath with a Rakdos Charm built in. A Wrath that can accidentally kill someone is pretty funny. Spidey Sense, Rite of Replication with a lot of Spider-Men, and Agent Venom.
Teenagers are building businesses with AI, while the only AI you know is ChatGPT. Let's be real. Most people...
And another art card. They're really going hard on these art cards. I think Wizards, it feels like they realize that art cards have value now with these sets and are really embracing the art card idea. All right, how about a hot dog cart? How about a hot dog cart? Anyone want a hot dog? Forest, friendly neighborhood. Moreland. I like Moreland a lot. I think Moreland's a good commander card for sure. And could maybe even show up in some standard decks. A Pumpkin Bomb. Borderless. How about another Rite of Replication? Ooh, Miles Morales. Okay, this is also, I believe, is this the best version? Yes. This is also, okay, this is on the same level as Peter Parker. Also, one of the most valuable cards in the entire set. And just look how cool those look. I give this set a ton of credit for its aesthetic. Just as far as the art, I think the art in the set, especially on the special treatments, is just so good. That is one of the highlights. Kapow! Too many Spider-Men though. My God, there's too many Spider-Men. I don't even know what that is. Speed Doctor. Is that Spider Doctor? Ghost Spider, Gwen Stacy. That's a Spider-Man. Hide on the ceiling. We'll take another one of those. Spot, the Living Portal. I wish this was like 1 mana cheaper for constructed. It's a cool card, but at 5 mana, I'm not sure if it makes. Ooh, the Opposition Agent. Oh, that looks sweet. Unfortunately, not foil. Foil actually matters a lot price-wise on these, but first time coming to Arena for that one too. And Iron Spider, one of the lesser Spider-Men. That's we would rather be opening Peter Parkers and Miles, not Iron Spider, the Stark upgrade. All right, 2 more packs in box 1. What do we find? Can we get a hot dog cart? I do need the hot dog food token. We got to keep an eye out for that. I need that for the guy in his garage eating food deck. Scarlet Spider-Man Riley. I actually think this might be one of the better standard cards in the set. Like, it's only 2 to web sling. If you web sling this off Llanowar on turn 2, you get a 5/4 trampler, and you have the mana to replay the Llanowar. So I think there could be like some sort of Gruul Stompy deck with this card. With great power, I also love this card. This card just has funny combos. Put on an indestructible creature and never die. Strength of Will. And, well, we jumped ahead a little bit past this comeuppance, but that is fine because we jumped into Anti-Venom Horrifying Healer. Also, man, this box might actually be working out. I feel like this is also a very expensive card. So we've gotten at least three big hits already in Miles and Peter Parker and Anti-Venom. No Soul Stones, though, and no spider suit changes, whatever it's called. All right, what do we get? Last pack of box 1. Can we get some goodies? Spider-Man India, Spider Slayer Hatred Honor, so many Spider-Man. Carnage, rocket-powered Goblin Glider. Ooh, another Anti-Venom. This one's not foil, so a little less valuable, but still a good card. Goblin Bombardment, which honestly, I don't think I would play this version. And Friendly Neighborhood in foil. And, oh, there we go. Spider-Man India up close. Look. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, explain to me, why are there so many Spider-Men? Why are there so many? Why? At first, when I saw this set, I didn't realize that it was supposed to be a multiverse thing. And I was like, wait, is this just like Spider-Man on vacation? Did Spider-Man just like go to India and they decided to make a card of it? And then he went to the UK and they made a card of it. And then he went to Brooklyn, they made a card of it. Is that what's going on with this set? But apparently someone was like, oh, it's a multiverse. And I'm like, oh, it's just like Rick and Morty. And then people got mad because they're like, rah, Spider-Man did it first. Rick and Morty is just like Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, sure. That is probably true, but they're still basically the same. All right. Box number 2. I think box number 1, I feel like it went okay. It went okay. We got none of the hot dog cart. Got none of the super duper high-end stuff. In terms of like the $1,000 cards, but we hit like 3 of the best mythics from the set, which is good. All right, Planes. Peter Parker's camera. Again, Rent is due. I don't know how I feel about this card. I like the design of Rent is due. I have heard some interesting criticism from people being like, I don't want to be thinking about having to pay my rent when I play Magic, but I don't know if that holds up because we murder each other in Magic. There's literally murder as a card, and I don't think you want to be murdered either. So if the idea is like, I don't want to think about negative things, I don't know why. Maybe Rent is due is just more it's something everyone experiences, but yeah, I don't know. I think that might be taking it too seriously. Symbiote Spider-Man. Reprieve. That actually looks, I would play this Reprieve over the other versions. That looks pretty sweet. And Kraven the Hunter. Gonna be an annoying commander. Where's my hot dog? No hot dog. All right. If we miss a hot dog, hey, oh, there it is. We're gonna put that. This is the most important. We're gonna put this in its own pile. That goes in. That's actually the most important card we've opened so far. And we opened several hot dog stands. The deck is coming together. I'm saying. It's coming together. It's coming. Thank you, Watsy. Thank you, Wizards. Let's see. Oh, there it is. We'll put you over there in our food deck pile. Oh, Graham O'Brien is feasting. His garage will never be the same. Forest. Anara. With great power. Wow, 3rd Anti-Venom. All right, we will take 3 Anti-Venoms. Clever Impersonator, looking pretty cool. And Maximum Carnage. This is the kind of card I'm very curious about. Is Maximum Carnage, is this a... What do you... Give me your vote. Does this end up a bulk card that's like 25 cents? Because it's not really a constructed playable card. Even in Commander, it's kind of fringe, maybe for Go decks. Or is this like a $5 card because it's got Spider-Man comics on it? I think that is the question. That is the question, and that's what's going to make pricing the set so tricky right now is I don't really know. I don't really know if it goes Final Fantasy or if it goes normal Magic set at this point. I will say the reaction, at least on the very online corners of the Magic world, has been more negative than Final Fantasy. Schwamp. Ooh, all right, Peter Parker. Base version, but still. Even the base version, pretty sweet. I think this card's pretty good. This is like standard of Johnny. And wait, no. I'm putting these in the wrong pile. We gotta leave. There we go. We gotta make sure that our hot dog and our food deck is doing all right there. All right, let's see. Superior Spider-Man. Spider-Punk, one of the best Spider-Man, I think, for constructed in the set, for sure. Another Oppo agent, we will take it, and, oh, okay. That is a sweet looking, which one do you like better? They actually, it is kind of funny. I think I might prefer the base version art. Or like this, the one on the right. But which one do you think is better of the Spider-Punks? I actually think I like the one where he's just kind of chilling with the bubble gum compared to the electric guitar. But both decent cards. Not super high-end opens, I don't think, but playable cards. And playable is good. All right, let's see what we get here. Bunch of commons, pictures of Spider-Man Island, Parker Luck. Is Parker Luck a person, or is this referring to Peter Parker being lucky? Strength of Will. How about another Silk? Always got to have a Silk. A Tangle to go with our Silk. And a Mysterio. And Mysterio. One of the awkward parts of this set, at least from my perspective, is it's the first Marvel set. Things like villains are very new to Magic. So a card like Mysterio, it could be a really cool card for a villain deck, but you're probably going to have to wait a few more Marvel sets to get enough villains to actually build a villain deck. So some of these cards, I think, will look better as far as their playability in another 2 or 3 years or so as they keep printing Marvel sets. And maybe they bring villains to Magic more. Maybe we get more Magic-themed villains. Strength of Will. Parker Luck, again, familiar. Electro Assaulting Battery. How busted is Electro? Is this new Vivi? I think it's not as good as Vivi, but it still seems like it could be very strong in a Vivi deck. Maybe it's Vivi's replacement, now that we know it's almost certainly going to get banned in November. Bioorganic Carapace. 4 mana is just so much, but in a modified Commander deck, I think it's kind of sweet. Next time we see a Bagel and Smear, we gotta pull that out too for our food pile. Guy in a chair. I mean, is there any food in there? Is he eating? Wait. Is that food? Is that food by the computer? I can't tell. You know what? I think that's a bag of chips. In the deck with the guy in the chair. Secret identity. We're gonna count it. Spider Slayer, Hatred Honored. All right, Mountain. Oscorp Industries. Again, these lands are just so cool. Really, I hope they complete the cycle in future sec. Doc Ock Tentacles. Green Goblin Nemesis. So the, starter or whatever it is, intro deck Green Goblin. Ooh, Nigila is Spider-Gwen. Pretty busted commander. And Oscorp Industries. All right, I guess we got to build a Mayhem deck. And Spider-Man copy token. All right. Well, this box I feel like has not been as good value-wise. Although it has added more to our Graham O'Brien deck, so... So I guess that's the real victory. Subway Trade, Gallant Citizen, Mary Jane, Damage Control. All right, Mountain, Biogenic Carapace, The Spot Living Portal, Mysterio, Traumatize. The Spider-Man art's so good on these. It just looks so clean. And Rent is Due Extended Foil. How good do you think this card is in Magic? Like, okay, beginning your end step, you can tap 2 untap creatures into treasures. If you do, draw a card, otherwise you sack it. If you can keep it going, it's a 1-mana Phyrexian Arena. It doesn't even lose you life. So I feel like I'm like a go wide white commander deck. Why will this pack not open? Did I forget how to open packs? I feel in some sort of like go wide white commander deck it could be good. I could even see it 1 mana maybe constructed. It's just risky because when it's bad, it's gonna be really bad. Like sacrifice itself. Ooh, throwing a scout the city here. How about, let's see, prison break, Layla, Web Warriors, Plains, hide on the ceiling. All right, we'll take another one of those. Sandman. This is another card I'm not sure how good it is. We've never seen a creature with power and toughness equal to your lands this cheap before, but green kind of sucks in standard. Oh, there's Sutherland, Urban Retreat, also very good. Heroic Intervention, one of the better. I mean, Heroic Intervention, they reprint it constantly, and it's always $10. And then you get the Spider-Man treatment, so it's like 20 or 25 or something. So it's always a good open. And all right, double Sandman and Spider-Man with some webs. Yeah, I don't know if Sandman's gonna be busted or not. I could see there being a deck where it's very good, and then I could also see it seeing no play at all. So his base is like 3 mana 3/3 if you just play it on turn 3, which, wow, that is a heavy played illusion villain. Look at that. We just opened the pack and it's already eaten up. Mass Meower. We still need a Bagel and Schmear. Where's our Bagel and Schmear? Ooh, Electro. Another Electro. We'll take it. Bioorganic Carapace. Sure. Friendly Neighborhood. Yep. Feed the Swarm. Boo. Hate it. Scarlet Spider-Man Variety Foil Showcase. I mean, that looks pretty good. I haven't noticed any special foiling on this set. I know there is, but like with Edge of Eternities, we were looking for was it cosmic planetary foils? I don't know. Cosmic foils? I'm sure I'm saying the wrong word there. You know what I mean? It was very obviously, it looked like outer space. This set, I don't think it has a foiling like that. Forest, Mysterio, Oscorp Industries, Miles, non-foil, unfortunately. Oh, I didn't realize it says Thwimp. Thwimp. I guess that's the sound of flipping your headphones. Your headphones say Thwimp. Reanimate. Just look at how awesome that card looks. It's just so cool looking. It's just so cool. And Strength of Will. All right.
Last chance to save 29%. Celebrating 29 years of wellness with you.
All right, couple more. We need a Soul Stone. We have opened 0 Soul Stones. I feel like box 2 has been worse than box 1 so far. I don't think it's been like horrible, but maybe it's been horrible. But I feel like it's been meaningfully worse. But we got 2 more packs to hit something big. And there are big things that can save the whole box. Spider-Verse. Card's cool. It's just awkward that it's red. Red is an awkward color for Spider synergies. The Clone Saga. Doc Ock Evil Inventor. From the starter kit or whatever. Another Leyline Binding. Foil this time. Wow, it looks even cooler in foil. And Mary Jane Watson. Honestly, I kind of hate Mary Jane in this set. The fact that it's Selesnya means I can't play it in my Spider decks. Wizards. Make it mono green, Wizards. Wizards. But yeah, it just doesn't work in existing Spider decks like Ishkana and Shelob. All right, what do we get? Last pack of box number 2, and we need something good here. This box is going to be a flop. Swamp, Cheering Crowd, that's not it. Origins of Spider-Man, cool comic art, but also not it. Moreland, good commander card, but not it. How about Hunter's Insight? Okay, one of the least valuable of the Marvel sheet. And, Parker Luck. All right, well, outside of getting the food token, which, I mean, is the most important open so far, box number 2 felt pretty bad. That one felt pretty bad. There were a couple of okay cards, but really, overall, I feel like that box was kind of a whiff. We need a Soul Stone. One of these days, we do these big openings every set. One of these sets, we're actually going to hit like the $10,000. We're going to hit the jackpot. We're going to hit the jackpot. The $10,000 Soul Stone or something. Like, sooner or later, it's going to happen. Maybe not this set, but one of these sets. We did open a couple of serialized cards a long time ago. Back when serialized cards were more common. All right, box 3. How we look in Spider-Man box 3. Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So one of the Spider-Man Eternal cards. The Spider-Man Eternal cards I don't expect to be worth too much just because they're pretty underpowered. Again, I don't know why Spider-Man murdered Gwen Stacy. It seems out of character for him, but I'm not a big Spidey fan, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments why. Why did Spider-Man push Gwen Stacy off the roof? Another Skitherix, and oh, Mr. Negative. This might be my favorite card in the set. It's just such a cool ability. The ETB life swap ability, and then the card draw ability, if you end up losing life in the exchange, it's just such a cool design. Easily one of my favorite cards in the set. Worst case, going to be a really fun commander. Maybe we can do something with it in standard, although it is awkward that it gets kind of hard locked by Screaming Nemesis. That part's not the most ideal. All right, well, taxi driver. Is there any food? Nah, I don't see any food. Hey, there it is. There it is. Bagel and Smear. All right, get over here with our hot dog. Join the deck, Bagel and Schmear. Okay. Y'all always yell at me for not organizing my cards well enough. And I've taken it to heart. You can see my Bagel and Schmear pile here. Agent Venom. Lizard, Connor's Curse. I feel like this is a good commander card too. Web of Lifestream. It's kind of like a Beast Within type effect. Can get rid of commanders permanently. Interdimensional Web Watch. I will say, even though they expanded the set out to make it bigger, it's still smaller than most sets, and the expanding was mostly adding commons so they could at least pretend like you could draft it or do the pick 2 draft thing or whatever. I will say, I feel like there's a lot of redundancy in these packs. We're seeing like the same cards over and over again already, and we're only 3 boxes in. Spot again, Sandman again, Pumpkin Bombs again, Unexpected Windfall. I like Unexpected. Would I play this version? I play Unexpected Windfall in a lot of commander decks. The art looks fine. I don't know if I would play it or not though. Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot. And Peter Parker's camera. Okay, the B-Man. All right. So, where's our Soulstones, wizards? How about a Soulstone? Soulstone or costume change Spider-Man. That's what we really need here. We need something, because the last box was not a banger for us. Ooh, Cosmic Spider-Man. All right, first Cosmic Spider-Man. It is foiled, just the base version though. Mary Jane Watson again. Ultimate Green Goblin. Still interested in the Mayhem deck. Rest in peace. The art on that one's pretty good. I would play that one. And oh, still Spidey, stop murdering Gwen. I gotta read why. I don't understand. That's how I learned about pop culture. Like from these openings and from these Universes Beyond sets. Now I know that like Cloud and Sephiroth are brothers. Spider-Man murdered Gwen Stacy. I'm catching up. Spider-Woman, Stunning Savior. First time we've seen Spider-Woman. Iron Spider, Comeuppance. That art is pretty funny. Punch him in the chest and hit yourself in the face. And Silk. It's been a minute since we've gotten to Silk. It's been a minute. I feel like this box is off to a slow start too, but we're like halfway through this opening. We still have 2 full boxes and half of this box, so there is time. There is time for the boxes to redeem themselves. How about a Villainous Wrath? I do like that card. I do like Villainous Wrath. Spider-Ham Peter Porker. Maybe my least favorite card in the set. Well, no, but on the list. Does that make it, when it enters, it makes a food? And it is literally in the other version, a pig eating a hot dog. Does that go in the food deck? It might. Imposter Syndrome. You know they had to do it. How do you not put the meme on a card if you get the chance? They had to do it. I feel like the dimensions could have been better. It should be zoomed out a little bit more, but you get the point. You get the point. Silk Guard and Arachne. And do you get an art card in like, I feel like there's way more art cards than in past packs. It's not every pack because we still get tokens, but I feel like we've gotten way more art cards than we have in the past. All right, going into the second half of box number 3. Oh, okay. Bagel and Schmear. Yeah. Gotta set that aside. Need a backup. Island. Lizard, Connor's Cures. Craven's Last Hunt. Okay, that's a flavor win. This is Arasta, Master Weaver, Web Protector, and all right, Inara, Heart of the Spider. Sure. Inara, I don't think is worth much of anything. How iconic is Inara as a character? I don't know who Inara is. Is Inara like a S tier Spider-Man character, a B tier, F tier? I'm also curious about Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary with great power and foil. J. Jonah Jameson, Maximum Carnage, Winds of Change. Okay, I mean that's a solid $25. And that's a hit. That is a hit. That is a hit. That is a hit. I think this is like 100 plus. Eddie Brock, Borderless Showcase, flipping around into Venom. Wow, look at how awesome that card. Just take a minute. Whether you like Spider-Man, whether you like Universes Beyond, whether you care about any of this stuff, just look at that card. That card looks so cool. It looks so cool. Like, what else can you say? It is just a really cool looking piece of cardboard. Yeah, and it's worth a lot of money, so. Also a win when you are $4,000 into Spider-Man boxes of all things. All right, what do we get here? How about, I mean, that's a hit at least. We need more of those. I really want a Soul Stone. We have not found a Soul Stone. J. Jonah Jameson, Hydro Man, one of the coolest designs from the set for sure. I don't know if this card's actually good, but I think it's a super cool design. Ooh, Multiversal Passage. I feel like this could be a playable land. We've seen lands similar. This is just the best version of the play it and it becomes a land type land. Another Saw half and Shadow of the Goblin. I also feel that art's also pretty cool. I also think this is one of the better cards in the set. 2 mana, you get to rummage every turn, and then if you play a card from anywhere except your hand, you get to ping everyone for 1. I feel like that card's gonna be really good in like Prosper style decks and Mayhem style decks. There's just so many different synergies for the combination of looting and playing stuff from exile, playing stuff from your graveyard. Probably wins with like Underworld Breach. I think that card's gonna actually be very good. Grow some arms, how about that? Web Shooter, terrific team up, Heroes Hangout, Mountain, Black Cat. All right, that's our first Black Cat. Basically upgraded, I think upgraded Gonti. More expensive, but you see more cards. Spinneret, Venom from the starter decks, Counterspell. They love printing Counterspell with whatever crossover they're doing. There's always a Counterspell with Sweetheart and Ultimate Green Goblin extended foil. Okay. Honestly, I feel like I don't know how we're doing. I'm feeling like the first box was good and the second 2 boxes have not been that good considering the amount of money we're into them, but I guess we'll see. Like I said, the prices are so in flux at the moment anyway. Schwamp, Mary Jane, Lady Octopus. How about it? Ooh, okay, there we go. Norman Osborn. These are the cards you want. You want of the non like super crazy stuff, like the $10,000, $20,000 Soulstone or whatever. Out of just like the normal stuff, the flip cards in the comic book styles are just some of the best cards that you can just normally get in the set. And I think Norman Osborn, although I wish this was my boy Fleam. Where's my boy Fleam? Green Goblin, you're fine, but Fleam, that is an actual character. Inferno, move over, Green Goblin. Fleam is here. Spider-Woman, Stunning Savior. Ooh, that foiling does look, I do like that foiling. I'm telling you, so many art cards, infinite art cards. Let's look closer. I feel like the way the border pops in the foiling looks really nice. It does look really good. That is a cool looking card. Well, all right, last pack of box number 3. We could really use a $20,000 Soulstone. That would be, I would not complain. Or Baghead Spider-Man, either one. We will accept either one, Wizards. This pack only. The offer's off the table. Spider-Man Noir, Island, Venom Blast. I feel like these starter deck cards in the super expensive collector boosters are kind of a waste of a slot. Shadow of the Green Goblin, Cheering Crowd, Rite of Replication. We've gotten a few of those. Lady Octopus. Ugh, all right. Lady Octopus is one of those cards that people will think is good, but once they play with it, they're going to be like, it's actually way harder to use than I thought. All right, box number 4. Let's see how we're doing. I mean, what's this mean? 24 more packs to get this Soulstone or a costume change Spider-Man. Ooh, all right, there we go. Box number 4. So I want to say box number 1 good, box number 2 and 3 equally mediocre. Box number 4, this is gonna be the one. This is the one. I have faith in Spider-Man for some reason. Spider-Man will save us, but not Gwen Stacy. I don't know what she did, but Web Warriors, Mountain, Web of Life and Destiny, Electro, okay. I mean, one of the better rares. Craven the Hunter, Shock, Parker Luck, all right. Not the craziest pack. I swear we need some, there's some mythics we haven't seen. A lot of the rares I feel like we've already seen over and over again. What do we get in this pack? Get through them commons into hide on the ceiling. All right. I mean, I really feel like this card's gonna be good, gonna be worth something. Mary Jade, grasping tentacles. Target opponent mills 8. You can put an artifact card from that player's graveyard on the battlefield under your control. So 3 mana mill 8. Maybe in Commander, not in Constructed. All right, wins the change. That's still fine. And Bio-Organic Carapace. There's some Mary Jane action. I'm curious, do y'all actually do anything with the art cards? Like, now that I always just literally treated them like tokens, and they just end up in some random bulk, like, throwaway box. But do people collect them? Are there actually people watching this video that collect the art cards? I'm curious. And has the fact that they have cool art on them now, has that made you, like, has Universes Beyond made you start collecting them, or recent sets? Biogenic Carapace, again. How about a Kraven's Last Hunt? Ooh, Gwen Stacy, okay. Not foil, unfortunately, but again, flipping over into Ghost Spider. I feel like Gwen Stacy lags behind the other ones. I don't know if it's the character or the card or what, but price-wise, this is not as high as, like, Miles or Peter Parker, but still good. Mystic Confluence, and, all right, another extended foil, Mr. Negative. We'll take it. Mr. Negative, I think when it's all said and done, I feel like it's got to be one of the more popular commanders from the set. I don't know. Maybe all the Spider-Man will be all people build out of the set. What do we get out of this pack? How about Peter Parker's camera? Lady Octopus again. Sensational Spider-Man. This was the first card they spoiled from the set. And I was like, oh, the Spider-Man set's going to have like a stun counter theme. And then they previewed the set, and I don't think there's another stun counter in the entire set. Maybe there's one on a random comment or something, but it's definitely not the theme. Shadow of the Goblin. This card is actually pretty cool. So this is what? Remove the Mask or something the name is. But there's a super old Magic card called Unmask. The same artist did this art, and it's a very obvious callback to Unmask, a Magic card printed like 25 years ago, which I thought was actually a super cool callback. I really like. One of my criticisms of this is I felt like it didn't like mechanically fit that well into Magic. Like, it's spiders that are in the wrong colors to play with spiders and so forth. But I think stuff like this is a cool way to integrate sets like Spider-Man into the game's history a little bit. So more of that I would be fine with. What do we get here? Cheering crowd. Boo. We don't want more of you. Hide on the ceiling. Spot living portal. Unexpected windfall. Oscorp Industries. Man, are we going to go through this whole thing without getting a Soul Stone? Even the base version of Soul Stone's like over $100 currently. It is easily the chase card of the set, and we have gotten literally 0 of them, which is very concerning. That's where the money's at. How about Spider-Man Miles Morales? Sure. That Spider-Man, leave her alone, Spider-Man. What did Gwen ever do to you? Interdimensional Wed Watcher, Skitherix, Lady Octopus. All right.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is based.
Sure. So what Marvel set do you want to see next? We know they're doing multiple Marvel sets, several Marvel sets. Speculation there might be 6 altogether with 1 Soul Stone in each. But what else would make sense from a Marvel perspective? I'm the what's an X-Men guy, remember, so I'm not the person to answer this question. Clone Saga, Ren is due, Clever Impersonator. Oh, okay. I mean, that's a Gwen Stacy, this time in foil. Ghost Spider variant. I think this is the more valuable of the 2 variants. I'm pretty sure. Well, that's a hit. It's not a Soul Stone level hit, but it still is a hit. We will accept it. This pack's getting a little light though, or this box is getting a little light, more than halfway through it. But I feel like Avengers, I've heard of that before. X-Men, beyond that, I have no idea. Swamp. Superior Spider-Man, Black Cat, with the comic book treatment. Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. We got to get the other version for the deck, for our Bagel and Schmear deck here. We haven't found the base version yet. Hunter's Insight and a Spider Sense. Not sure how good this card is. Web Slinging Counterspell's interesting. Only hitting instants and sorceries and triggered abilities, though. Doesn't get Soul Cauldron, doesn't get Profs. Well, I think it's a card. Remember, these cards exist for so long now. Like, even in Standard, they exist for 3 years. So I imagine it's a card that will matter in the future, I would guess. But I don't know if I play in the current Standard meta. Forest. Ooh, all right, Norman Osborn. I mean, so this is not the greatest version. This is just the base foil. But Fleam, where are you, Fleam? But this is it's another Fleam. Who would not want another Fleam? Symbiote Spider-Man. Ooh. How about Superior Spider-Man? Rest in peace, this time in foil, and Strength of Will. Man, the last card in the pack is where the money is. That's usually where the money is. And I feel like our last card in the packs have not been that good this time. Disappointing. Oh, all right. Well, I mean, we got another token for our guy in the garage eating food deck. It is coming along nicely. How about Red is due, Jackal, Green Goblin Nemesis, Savage Beating, and Sandman. Da-na-na-na-na. Enter not off to Never Land. Oh, Metallica. All right, what do we get? Two more packs out of this box. Subway Train. Yeah, this card. This is another kind of like, I don't know, guy doing the normal thing. And I don't know. I just don't know about that spaceship in the background. I don't know. Is that an Easter egg of some kind? Spider-Man India. How about a Schwamp? Multiversal Passage. All right, that's fine. We'll take it. Peter Luck. Nah. Ooh, Spider-Punk. All right, that's a nice Spider-Punk. Oppo Agent. I mean, we'll take Oppo Agent. That is a valuable card. And Carnage Crimson Chaos. I have not noticed any special foiling on these cards. Maybe I'm just missing it, but I feel like it's all normal. Man, that's another, look at that. Look at that. My art card, Wizards. Look at that, out of the box. Look at that, Wizards. That could have been a $20,000 Soulstone with a ding in it. All right, last pack of box 4, and we really could use something good because I feel like we might be getting kind of wrecked. After box 1, I don't know, maybe it's way better than I think, and everything's going to add up way more. Silk, Scarlet Spider-Man Riley, Ultimate Green Goblin, Master Weaver, and Craven. All right, well, one more box to go. Here we go. Box number 5. This has got to be the one. Look at how good I am at opening. Ooh, just twist, pull. All right, I'm going to cut this out. Professional box opener here. All right, last box. So all we want out of this box is a friggin' Soulstone. A Baghead Spider-Man, and another Bagel and Smear. And then I'll be happy. That's it. Actually, no, we really need the Peter Porker, the pig eating a hot dog for the Graham O'Brien deck. Oh, guy in a chair. Wait, yeah. You go over there. We're gonna be able to build 2 copies of the Graham O'Brien deck here in a minute. Mountain. How about a Symbiote Spider-Man, Shadow of the Goblin, Cheering Crowd, Goblin Bombardment, and Friendly Neighborhood. I will say, opening a lot of boxes of these, it does remind me a little bit of like Assassin's Creed. Not as bad. Or like Aftermath or something. It feels like the redundancy of the rares reminds me of that. But now there's some random commons thrown in. Spider-Man Noir, Island, Origins of Spider-Man, Black Cat, another Spider-Punk, Terminate with pretty cool art, and Iron Spider Stark Upgrade. Man, we're not going to get... Are we going to open 5 boxes and not get a Soulstone? If we open 5 boxes and don't get a Soulstone or a costume change Spider-Man, that's really rough. I think the math is maybe not in our favor at this point. But value-wise, if we don't hit one of those, oh man, this might be disastrous. Lizard. All right, Cosmic Spider-Man. We will accept a Cosmic Spider-Man. I expect people will build that as commander. Mystic Confluence and foil, and a Black Cat comic book. Sure. Oh, there's a hot dog. Put you over there. I'm getting nervous that we're not gonna get it. I don't know. Like I said, maybe these cards are adding up way more than I think. It's just so rough when boxes are $800-900. If you don't hit some of the high end stuff, it is hard to make that back. Even during our chaotic inflated presale period. Swamp, Radioactive Spider, Hide on the Ceiling, sure. Spider Sense, sure. Ooh, Doc Ock, Armed and Dangerous. tentacling up a Spider-Man. And another, okay, I mean, it's the hide on the ceiling pack. Extended hide on the ceiling pack. One of them's foil, though. Hopefully hide in the ceiling ends up being worth something, because we have opened a lot of those. All right, what do we have? Almost through the first half of box number 5, our final box. Ooh, guy in the chair. What do we get? Forest, Scarlet Spider-Man, Riley, Mary Jane Watson, Ultimate Green Goblin. Oh, I messed it up. Infernal Grasp. That art is cool. The card's not worth anything. The art's cool, though. And a Symbiote Spider-Man. This is another one, like, oh, man, I just don't know about the prices. Is Symbiote Spider-Man a $5 card? A 25-cent card? A $10 card? If this was a Magic character, you print this exact same card, but it's an in-universe card, I would fully expect it to be a bulk rare, right? 25 cents, 50 cents, whatever, something like that. Is there a Spider-Man bump? That is the question, similar to Final Fantasy. Are people going to pay more for Symbiote Spider-Man because it's Symbiote Spider-Man? Just because they love Spider-Man? That's a question that I don't have the answer to. But we're going to find out pretty soon as City Pigeon. Well, look at that hot dog. That's not a guy, though. Does a City Pigeon count as a guy? Does it go in the deck? Do we put it over there? Yeah, it is another hot dog. Man, this set has, I'm pretty sure, 200% more hot dogs than all the rest of Magic sets combined. Hey, Miles Morales. Okay, that's a hit. Not the best version, but still. That is a hit. Carnage, sure. Peter Parker's camera, sure. 9 lives. We haven't seen that before. That's a new one. And cheering crowd. We love you, Spider-Man. We do not love opening cheering crowd, though, because speaking of bulk rares, I'm pretty sure that one's a bulk rare. It's a bulk rare, and it doesn't even have Spider-Man on it, so I don't think it's going to be saved by the character. Well, second half of box 2. If we're going to hit ourselves a Soul Stone, we are running out of time. Spider-Man UK with the super big flag. Look at that flag. It just waves for days and days. Planes. Hey, we did it. Okay. We might not get a Soul Stone. We might not get Baghead Spider-Man, but at least we got a Spider-Ham Peter Porker, which definitely goes in the deck. That is a pig eating a hot dog. Actually, wait, that's another hot dog. 300% more hot dogs than the rest of Magic put together. Kind of impressive, actually. Oscorp Industries, Doc Ock, Master Planner. How about a Hex and Agent Venom? Well, okay. We achieved one of our goals, which is get the pig eating the hot dog for the guy in his garage eating food deck. That means in these packs, Baghead Spider-Man, we got, what, 5 left? All right. This pack's going to be the Baghead Spider-Man, and then the last pack, we're saving them all for then. The last 2 packs, Soul Stone, Baghead Spider-Man, and then we retire on our newfound Spider-Man wealth to build the deck. Whoosh. See, Secret Identity is the name of the card. This is a card that calls back to Unmask with the same artist even. Swamp. Death of Gwen, Spider-Man, leave her alone. Death Against Stacy, Jackal. Villainous Wrath. Terminate. Well, okay, that's a cool looking multiversal passage. It's foil, the art's good. Not a Soul Stone, but we'll take it. We'll replace it here in our little, how about that, multiversal passage. Actually, no, wait. Hang on. We gotta do this properly. There we go. That's where we keep our most important card we've opened so far. All right, what do we get out of, oh boy, pack number 8 out of box number 5, I want to say. Spider-Man, oh, that's another one. Heroic Horde. Island. Lethal Protection. 4 mana, blow up a creature, return target 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand at sorcery speed. Man, you can tell it's a starter deck card, that's for sure. Spider-Woman, Spawning Savior, could be a standard playable card. Urban Retreat, good card. Beast Within. Would I play this Beast Within? Probably. I don't have a special version of Beast Within that I always play. This one does look pretty cool. And Hydro Man, Fluid Felon. I really like the design on Hydro Man. It's not worth the money but that's okay. Man, 3 packs. We need a spectacular Spider-Man, and we need us a Soul Stone, and we're running out of time. Okay, how about planes? Another Spider-Punk, sure. Radioactive Spider, this time with the showcase treatment. Doc Ock, again. Parallel Lives. Ooh, okay, that's a hit. That's it. This is I believe, the most expensive card, or tied for the most expensive card on the Marvel sheet. The funny thing is, I don't actually like the art on this one. I think the art actually looks kind of jank. Not the artist, just like the concept of the art I don't really like. Yeah, I don't actually like the art, but I'm not going to complain about opening a $40, $50 bill. And Kraven's Last Hunt. It is so cool that it actually looks like a comic book panel. Like, it just, the concept on that, wow, look at that signature. War? Who's the artist? Oh, that's Wayne Reynolds' signature? I guess I make Wayne R. Okay, I get it. Well, all right, here we go. So this is a pack with the Baghead Spider-Man, right? And then the last one is the $20,000 Soul Stone. All right, let's, wait, there it is. You go over there. Okay. Here we go. 2 packs to go. This and one more. The penultimate pack of our $4,000 Spider-Man opening. All right, Forest, Urban Retreat, fine, but not a banger. Spinner and Spiderling, not fine nor a banger. Grasping Tentacles, sure, whatever. Silk Guard, okay, and... Well, okay. It's not the Spider-Man, but Anti-Venom Horrifying Healer. It's a valuable card. We will take it. At least it's something. All right, here we go. I mean, this is our last shot. This is literally it. It all comes down to this. Can we hit one last big card to hopefully redeem some of this? Because right now, I'm feeling like we got wrecked value-wise. I'm feeling like we got super wrecked value-wise. Oh boy, Bear might not be eating for a few weeks. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? So this is, oh no. Well, okay, that's not gonna work with double face cards. All right. I was gonna do the traditional hot dog cart, you go over there. I was gonna do the traditional face down thing, but double face cards ruined that plan, so I think I spoiled the ending a little bit. Swamp, Interdimensional Web Watch, Arachne Psionic Weaver. Okay, Eddie Brock. It is not foil. It's not foil, but that is a hit. Eddie Brock flipping over into Venom Lethal Protector in the comic book style. That's good. Mindbreak Trap, is that foil? It's not foil. I think Mindbreak Trap is still worth like $20 or something. The foil though is more expensive. And then last, but certainly, hey, all right. I mean, what other way would you end a $4,000 Spider-Man Collector Booster Box opening than by having the last card be, well, look at how those glasses shimmer and foil, then having the last card be the Amazing Spider-Man? Well, I will say, I am feeling right now, coming out of these boxes, like maybe our boxes were not amazing. 5 collector booster boxes, around $4,000 of collector booster boxes, 0 Soul Stones, 0 spectacular Spider-Man costume changes. We did hit some good like MDFCs, a few decent cards on the special sheet. My gut reaction is we got absolutely hammered on this one, that we just got absolutely wrecked. But I'm going to come up with some numbers, do my best to price out this stuff, and Future Seth will be back in a minute to wrap all this up. All right, Future Seth here. You can tell because Future Seth has clothes that are very ripped and torn and beat up, and that's because past Seth is the kind of idiot that would spend $4,000 on Spider-Man collector booster boxes. This went about as bad as a box opening can go. So I was actually really excited for this box opening. Over on the main channel a few days ago, I made a video basically saying that I thought that Spider-Man was a bad set, and my criticisms of that set were all gameplay and set design related. It was not having the same cards on Arena as in paper. It was not being designed for a draft format. It was having 40 different versions of the same character, stuff like that. So I was actually really looking forward to this opening because I was hoping that my conclusion was going to be, okay, say, I don't think this set's very good from a gameplay perspective, but the set has a ton of cool cards. It's got a bunch of expensive cards, so even if it's not great for gameplay, it's really awesome to open. So that's what I was hoping would happen. But then we opened 5 boxes. They're $800 a piece right now, $4,000 of Spider-Man collector booster boxers. And if you add everything together, guess how much value in Magic cards we got back out of those boxes? The answer is we got back $1,997, which means essentially we spent $4,000 on product and we got $2,000 in value, which I guess means we kind of lost $2,000 in about an hour of opening boxes, which I have never experienced before. If you go back to our Final Fantasy opening, I came away from that opening feeling like we got wrecked, and I actually went back and checked, and those boxes were like, one of them we lost $50, one of them we lost like $200. It wasn't good, but it was also nothing like this, and I knew things went off the rails with this opening as soon as I started pricing things out, literally on box 1, because if you go back to the beginning of the video, I remember saying, okay, I think box 1 is our best box. That's been our best box so far. Box 2, box 3, I don't think they're as good. So as soon as I started adding thing up and I saw that box 1 came in at negative $253, I knew that we were super screwed, and that's how it turned out. Box 1, negative 253, box 2, negative 507, box 3, negative 373, box 4, minus 442, box 5, minus 428. So we were consistently losing like half of the value that we paid or more on every box. And our good box, in the good box was a box where I think we opened 3 cards that were worth more than $100. We literally, outside of hitting the $800 super rare costume change Spider-Man cards, or like the $20,000 incredibly rare, like serialized card style rare golden soul stone, we were opening the most expensive cards you can get in the entire set, and we still lost $250. If that is not enough to break even, I don't know how you can, outside of just literally opening something that's serialized card scarce or close to serialized card scarce. So if you add all this together, please do not buy Spider-Man boxes, like seriously. And this is not me saying this is like, don't buy it because I don't like the Spider-Man set. Whatever, spend your money however you want. From a financial perspective, from someone who wants to be able to pay their rent next month, don't buy these boxes because they are just not a good value proposition at $800. If they drop down to like $500, go ham, have fun, do whatever you want. I love the cool treatments. The cards looked amazing. The value's just not there out of an $800 booster box. So anyway, that's our Spider-Man booster box opening. Oh, it was a rough one. Of course, if you need any Spider-Man cards, what you should do is just head over to our sponsor Card Kingdom and pick up the singles you need. Anything we open today, you're going to be able to find on their website. So head over to cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish, pick up the singles you want, skip the booster boxes. And of course, if you need to sell some cards, and after how this opening went, I am definitely going to have to do this, you should go over to cardconduit.com/mtggoldfish. It's way easier than buy listing. So anyway, everyone, that's Spider-Man. That is how to lose $2,000 in about 55 minutes. And yeah, that's been our video for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me get absolutely wrecked. Please don't do this at home. It is really a bad idea. And I guess I'll be back for another one soon. So until then, everyone, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Magic's new never rotating core set foundations is finally here. Can we open some sweet Japanese showcase cards, maybe a super expensive fractured foil? Well, let's crack open some boxes and find out. All right, so it is finally foundations time, and I gotta say, I am super excited for this set. I've always loved core sets. I feel like core sets are just good for the game anyway because they give us a place to reprint stuff that doesn't fit into other sets, but this one is especially sweet because the new cards are super sweet, the reprints are super sweet, plus it's not going to rotate like forever, so these cards are going to be important for standard for a long time, and there's some really expensive stuff we can open, so gonna be interesting to see how this sets goes. So yeah, foundations booster number 1. Super curious how other people are interacting with this set. Are you picking up foundation boxes? There is some expensive stuff. The biggest hits are, I think, Japanese showcase cards and the fractured foil versions in specific. Ooh, Vivian Emblem, looking good in foil. Not a ton at the lower rarity. Soulstone Sanctuary. I don't know if this card's good or not. A creature land that's all creature types, very powerful. Remaining a creature is a bit of a concern. Banner of Kinship. I feel like Banner of Kinship, at a minimum, going to be good for Commander. Kind of like a better coat of arms. Preposterous proportions. I feel like this card's just actively not good. I don't know, maybe make it work in a token deck, but without any evasion, I feel like +10/+10 to everything is not that. Foil, Liliana Dreadhorde General, looking good. I love this card. I don't know how good it'll be this time in Standard, but it is a very powerful Planeswalker. Mossborn Hydra. And all right, down to the lower rarity stuff. So the big lower rarity hits, this might be worth a little something. Our new Blood Artist effect. I think the big lower rarity hit is the Heir Apparent that you can play any number of rabbit common. That is by far the most valuable. And then I think the new Lava Spike is the Bolt Bend. It takes me a little while to remember all the card names, especially this set that's like, wow. Look at that. Look at that. So that's not fractured foil, but that is a super sweet anime or Japanese Progenitus. That art looks so good. It looks so, look at it shimmering foil. Man, what a card. We're going to have to build a Progenitus deck in Standard and see if we can make it work. It is a lot of mana. Oh, wow, that's even a better hit. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Pretty sure this is the most expensive card in the set. As far as just like main set cards, I think this card might be good. Combo Ps and a 5/5 flying body. You can do all the like Sanguine Bond, Exquisite Blood shenanigans. Plus there's some combos with it in Standard. Black has so many random combos in Standard. Lunar Insight. Mudrotha, pretty popular commander. Curator of Destinies, Planes, and do we have any Heir Apparents? Do we have a Heir Apparent? Do we have it? No hairs. Well, that was a good pack. That was a really good pack. That Progenitus looks so good. I bet it would look even better in fractured foil. So what do you think of a core set that never rotates? Also, why is my mic dropping? There we go. All right, Mike, stay. I think it's a ghost. What do you think of a core set that never rotates? I've heard mixed things. I like that core sets are, ooh, new Elenda, Saint of Dusk, Azure Animist, Crystal Barricade. This is also, I think, the most expensive rare in the set. Giving yourself Hexproof, not bad. And then the second ability, preventing all non-combat damage to creatures you control, other creatures you control. Relevant against like Pyroclasm and stuff. I think this card at least will see sideboard play in Standard. Consuming Aberration. Sky Knight Squire. I feel like this card could be really good too. Getting a +1/+1 counter whenever a creature enters and not saying non-token means that this can get super big super fast. Something like Jeskai Convoke, I think. Cool. I love all the reprints. The set's like very nostalgic. I feel like, so there's upsides and downsides, right, to a set being in Standard for 5 years. The downside is it might get boring after a while, that 4 years from now we're playing with the same cards, 5 years from now we're playing with the same cards. So that's the downside. The upside is it lets Wizards kind of lay a foundation for the format, right? We always know there's going to be some sort of reanimation, some sort of Blood Artist effect. Like, it just lets you build off of this set with future sets and hopefully make Standard. Wow, another one. Okay. Bloodthirsty Conqueror number 2. This is a pretty awesome box so far. The best Mythic in the set twice already in like 3 packs. Blasphemous Edict, also one of the better rares in the set. I feel like this is better than people think in Commander and still like not insane. I think it's a good Wrath. It's a good Wrath. I do think getting 13 creatures to get the discount is going to be maybe more challenging than people think. Electro Duplicate. Wow, double. Apparently we're going to be playing some Blasphemous Edicts in the future since we got 2 of them. A High Fae Trickster. Island. Rexage. It's a nice looking treatment. I love some of the treatments on the reprints too. Like Rexage, it's not a valuable card, right? It's been reprinted a bunch. It is a playable card though, in Commander and even in Modern a little bit. So nice to get a sweet art treatment on it. And that's one of the things I love about this set is like, even the not super exciting cards are still like nostalgic. High Society Hunter. Ooh, wait, is that, oh, look at that foiling. Oh, wow. Wait, this has to be like fractured foil, right? I think. Look at those mana symbols. That has to be that's so cool looking. Unfortunately, it's a high society hunter, which I don't think is that great of a card, but the foiling, that's got to be some sort of special foil. I didn't think that was fractured, but I don't know. Maybe that's fractured foil. Kiora, the Rising Tide. Another Crystal Barricade, looking good in extended border. 9 lives familiar. Preposterous proportions. The squirrels will rule the world. Another Rex Age, Meteor Golem.
We have a downed spacecraft.
This ship collected fire.
So yeah, I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. Like, so discounting the set and the cards in the set, which obviously there's some cool cards in the set, but what do you think of the impact on standard? That's something I'm very curious about. If people are hyped for it or dreading it. Exemplar of Light. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters or put on this creature, draw a card. This only triggers once per turn. Forming a 3/3 flyer. Could be okay in a... Wait, they don't all have that. Yeah, that's definitely... No mana symbols in that foiling. That's definitely... I don't think it's fractured, though. New Goma. Extended. Archmage of Runes. This card, I think, is going to be super popular in Commander. Spell reduction and draw a card whenever you cast instant sorcery. No once per turn or anything. You pay 4 mana just for the, what is it, a 4 mana 2/2 Archmage Emeritus? Just for the card draw mode. So you pay 1 more mana, you get a 3/6 and a cost reduction on your spells. Flamelike Phoenix. Ah, man, it makes me wish we could go back to the original days of Hollow 1. Painful Quandary, already in Standard. Swifty, Dust Boots, Shivan Dragon. How the Mighty Have Fallen. Hilariously, I don't know, you probably know this story if you've been playing Magic for a while. So Shivan Dragon, originally from Alpha, right? From the original Magic set. Back in its day, it was as expensive as Black Lotus. It was honestly a fair trade back in like 1993, 1994 to trade your Shivan Dragon for a Black Lotus. That would not be a ripoff. That was just a straight up fair trade. Now, Black Lotus sells for house money. And Shivan Dragon is an uncommon in Foundations. How the Magic world has changed over the past 30 years. Oh, Dragon. Are these double-sided? Oh, they are. Double Dragon. Okay, you get to choose your... Oh, one's a 5/5, one's a 4/4. New Kaikar. Foil extended. Itali Primal Storm. OG Itali. OG Itali is a cool card. Sylvan Scavenging. I'm not sure if this card's good or not. It does a lot when you're already doing a lot, but if you get Wrath or something and have nothing going on, it does much less. Homunculus Horde. Oh, so many flibble fibs. I guess they're just generic homunculi, but Galta Primal Hunger. Curious if Galta, Youthful Valkyrie. Curious if this thing. Oh, speaking, so back in the day, going back to Alpha again, back in Alpha, there was a card called Crawworm that was like one of the biggest Timmy cards, just a 6 mana green 6/4. Now, in Foundations, we get Quake Strider Ceratops, which is literally double the stats, a 12/8, just a vanilla 12/8 for 6 mana. And hilariously, it's still not going to see any play. It's still just bad. How big would a creature have to be? I think for just a vanilla creature to see play, we've seen a little bit of Multani and Yargle, right? See play, like in very fringe situations. I think once a creature hits 20 power, then it's in the conversation at least, just because of flings and so forth. Scrawling Crawler. I feel like this is actually one of the more valuable rares in the set. Quilled Great Worm. If you can keep this on the battlefield, it makes combat absolutely a nightmare. Another Homunculus Horde, Rune Scar Demon, the reprint, Seer Slicer Goblin. I feel like this is a good mono red card. The problem is mono red. Ooh, fancy braid. The problem is mono red is more of like a pump spell deck, and that's not really a pump spell kind of card. So I'm not sure how good it's going to be in like the current standard versions of mono red, but I feel like it's a good card. We'll have to see. One of the most Blasphemous Edict, number 3 in foil, Leyline X. Was not expecting an equipment Leyline in this. Another banner of kinship. New Alicia who laughs at fate. I feel like Alicia could also be pretty solid. It is annoying that it dies to cut down and to shock and to burst lightning. That is an issue, but if you make it to your end step in the right deck, even if you reanimate 1/2 drop, it's pretty good. And if it sticks around, it's really good. More tallies. Where's all of our hair appearance? We're getting 0 value and throwing around all of our lower rarity cards. What do we got? 3 more packs to go. I feel like this has already been a decent box, just based on hitting those the Mythic Vampire combo piece thing. Ooh, shiny rat. Leyline. Ooh, look at, is that? No, wait. Oh yeah, that's the. So this has got to be fractured foil, right? I thought fractured foil looked differently, but this mana symbol foiling, unfortunately, no, this can't be fractured foil. What is the traditional foil, fractured foil? Traditional foil. Oh, mana. Okay, 17 mana foil rare. Okay, this is mana foil. So it's not fractured foil. It's another special treatment, the mana symbols. Ooh, Twin Flame Tyrant. This is also part of that Mythic cycle. One of the most expensive cards. 5 mana, 3/5, double your damage. So it's actually like a 6/5. Seems reasonable and extended. Ton of Bones, Bobble Burglar, and ooh, Kaido, new Kaido. Gonna have double Kaido in standard. Both caring about ninjas. Loot, new loot, Exuberant Explorer. I gotta say, and this might be controversial, I kinda dislike loot. I kind of dislike loot. It feels so forced to me. It feels like WotC decided they needed a Pikachu, and then they made loot to be their Pikachu. But Pikachu wouldn't be Pikachu if it was intended to be Pikachu, right? It happened organically. I don't know. It feels weird to me. Loot feels weird. What is this card? Zolashar Lichlord. 2 mana, 2/2. War to pay 2 life. Tap. Cast a zombie creature card from your graveyard this turn. The ward helps. It still dies to everything, but at least your opponent takes some damage. Another Alicia, another Sky Knight Squire, Scavenging Ooze. I feel like this should be reasonable in standard again. Slagstorm. 3 damage to each creature, 3 damage to each player. It is nice that you can hit faced with Slagstorm, one of the upsides of Slagstorm compared to similar cards. Still no hair appearance. All right, one more pack. Can we get a hair apparent? Maybe the hair appearance are going to be rarer than I think. All right. Last pack of box 1, Cat Token, Ashroot Animist. I feel like this could be a good card. It just doesn't really have a home. Another Soulstone Sanctuary, Celestial Armor. Could see some commander play. Man, a lot of banner kinships. Time Stop. I don't know if I'm happy this is returning to standard. The art is, wow, look at that weird foiling in the face. Is that a misprint? Wait, is that blue on the face normal? It's very noticeable in foil. It's gotta be intended. Hair apparent. Can we get a hair apparent? Can we get a Llanowar Elves? I'm gonna be very curious as we go into box number 2. I'm gonna be very curious. Is green back in standard? So we got Llanowar, which is huge. We got Ghalta, which is huge. Like, Wizards knows. They know that green has sucked in standard for 2 years and black has dominated. They are giving us some of the all-time best green cards. Like cards that should make green really good in standard. Is it going to be enough? That is the question. That is the question. All right, first pack of box 2. Ooh, Vivian Reed, looking nice in foil. I think they had pretty good Planeswalker selections. More Alicias. Rabo, the First Fang. You're gonna be playing this one on a Commander Clash. I think I got a sneaky way to build this in Commander. I think actually, so it looks like a generic like Cat Tribal Commander, a Johnny. Might be good with Undead Slasher. Actually, just a one-shot kill with Undead Slasher, right? Double strike it, hit ya. Actually, I'd have to math it. I don't know if it's actually a one-shot kill, but it's pretty close. Draycatcher. And still no hair appearance. But I think that the new Rabo, I think it's actually a combo commander. But you're gonna have to watch Commander Clash in a couple weeks to see if the combo even works. But that's how I'm building a Rabo, is as a commander, is a combo commander. Ooh, Kaido emblem. And ooh, Alicia with the mana symbols. I wonder if the mana symbol foils, I don't know if they're, I know the fractured foils are worth a ton. I feel like the mana symbol foils probably worth more than normal foils, but I don't know if they're super expensive. New Niv Mizzet Visionary. No max hand size whenever Source deals combat damage to an opponent, non-combat damage to an opponent. You draw that many cards. That is actually kind of insane if you untap with it. Like Lightning Bolt turns into Ancestral. Whew, yeah. That seems pretty good. Spinner of Souls, 1,000 Year Storm. I love 1,000 Year Storm. 1,000 Year Storm's never good, but it is, that looks very interesting in foil. I actually like that land, the art's sweet. Youthful Valkyrie again. Bushwhack and Prison of the Moon.
I like to work fast, and switching between all my work apps was slowing me down. With ClickUp, all my work is in one place. My docs, tasks, calendar, and even my team's chat is seamlessly connected so we can work efficiently. If you want to finish your work faster, you should get ClickUp. Create your workspace for free. Do it. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, it'll be sweet to see the impact. But yeah, what do you think of mono green? Is mono green back? Or like, is the problem with mono green that the black removal is just too strong and it doesn't really matter how good they're wow. Wow. Wait. That is okay, these are super rare. So I think this is traditional foil. So this is Japanese showcase of the red mythic dragon we opened a minute ago. I know the fractured foil is like $300 or something. Not sure traditional foil. I still imagine, just based on how rare these are, especially in Japanese, because you get the English ones more often than Japanese and English boosters. I imagine this has got to be super expensive. I have no idea. I have no idea what it does. Well, I do because I know the card, but it doesn't really look like a Magic card. It looks like, I don't know, Digimon or something, but wow. What an open. What an open. Quill, great. What a pack. No, they're... Wow, there it is. Okay. There. Yes. Twin Flame Tyrant. 2-in-1 pack. Japanese showcase. Traditional foil. Pack foil. That might be like $100 pack. $200. We might have just paid for this entire box with that one pack. The only thing that would have made it better is if it had been a fractured foil. Fractured foil worth even more, but cannot complain. Cannot complain. Wow. Double dragon pack. How good do you think the dragon will be? The funny thing about the mythic cycle, what is this? Sign of the Deep. What even makes that? Oh, the new Kiora. Seer Slicer Golem, Mossmorn Hydra, Exemplar of Light, Sky Knight Squire. We got a lot of Blasphemous Edicts. So many Blasphemous Edicts. So many. So do you think the Mythic cycle is going to be good? They have very powerful static abilities, right? You're getting like Furnace of Wrath and Exquisite Bloods or Sanguine Mods. So they're very powerful, but they don't do anything right away. They are creatures that kind of need to sit out for a turn to really do their thing. A lot of Leyline Axes. I feel like Leyline Axe is probably not very good. It's cool that it can start on the battlefield, but when you actually think through how so many preposterous, I feel like we had this exact same pack before. Ooh, that's a nice Boots. That's going into Commander deck. That is a very nice version of Swiftfoot Boots. Belmore. We actually got to spoil that card forever ago. Belmore's like okay. It never caught on in Standard, but it's not the worst Spellslinger card. I feel like this box is already a winner just because of that one pack. This card's kind of out of order here. Sticking up a bit. All right, what do we get? Goblin. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wow. Wait, is that fractured foil? Look at this down here. Why is that in the... Oh, that's just part of the art under the text box? So not fractured foil, but still. Kaido looking good. Soulstone Sanctuary, Lunar Insight, Jamon, Painful Quandary. Ooh, Hero's Downfall. So funny that when this card was first printed, so it's a decade ago, so much history in these packs. When Hero's Downfall was first printed in Theros, it was actually like a format defining card, a jaw dropping card, because Wizards didn't print Planeswalker removal. Like that wasn't a thing. Like for the first 5-6 years of Planeswalkers in Magic, they didn't believe in being able to just target them with a spell and kill them. So when they printed Hero's Downfall, it was actually like 4 of every black deck, every deck you could play it in, one of the best cards that existed in Standard. It's another card, kind of like Shivan Dragon we talked about earlier, that went from being one of the best cards in the format to being a random uncommon. High Fate Trickster, 9 lives, Familiar Draycatcher, Abyssal Harvester. I feel like this card is very powerful, but again, maybe I put too much weight in this, but when I 3-drop that needs to untap to do things, dies to shock and cut down, I'm a little skeptical for Standard. I feel like that just might be a deal breaker, just like how it lines up. And I know people are going to be like, oh, dies to Doomblade, everything dies to Doomblade. That's not true with cut down and shock, though. Yes, everything dies to Doomblade, so it's in some ways a silly argument. On the other hand, not everything dies to cut down. You can play things that do not die to cut down. You can play 3 toughness things that do not die to shock. So that's the difference there. So many Leyline Axes. We can chill. Ooh, wow. Look at that mask. I don't know the lore of Liliana's mask, but that is pretty cool looking. Zulasher, Lich Lord, another one of the zombies. Consuming Aberration. We've hit a lot of Leyline Axes in a lot of Soulstone Sanctuaries so far. And zero hair. Hey, there we go. The most important open in the entire box. Heir Apparent. Look at that art. Look at that cute little bunny. I feel like as far as you could play any number cards go, I feel like Heir Apparent's actually one of the better ones. I don't think it's like insane, but I think it's one of the better versions of it. Ooh, Giada, Fun of Hope. So one of the coolest things about this set, and one of the things I'm most excited about, is to see if tribal decks will be good. I feel like that's one of the things Wizards has intentionally done with this set. If you just look through Foundations, you see the pieces to build an elf deck, the pieces to build an angel deck, the pieces to build a goblins deck. Merfolk got a bunch of stuff that might make it standard playable. Gonna be very interesting because in Bloomborough, right, it has a strong tribal theme, but outside of like basically lizards, ooh, Bushwhacker, special guest. I am hyped for this coming to Arena. We can finally do some 8-whacking on Arena. We've been missing one of our 8-whacks, but Goblin Bushwhacker changes that. Valkyrie's Call. This card's very expensive. I don't think it's very good in Standard. Maybe it is. It's 5 mana, and it's an enchantment, and people are ready for enchantment. Seems good in Commander, though. Just whenever a non-angel dies, return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Only creatures you control. But you return it back to play with +1/+1 counter, and it has flying and it has angel. So essentially like a weird luminous Broodmoth enchantment, doubling season. I'm honestly surprised they put doubling season in Standard. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter because there's already Innkeeper's Talent, which is very similar once you level it up. But I feel like doubling season is borderline scary for a card that never rotates, or it doesn't rotate for at least 5 years or whatever it ends up being. Nice little rabbit token. High Society Hunter. No mana symbols. Coma World Eater. Celestial Armor. Another Giada. So yeah. Oh, Elvish Archdruid. So this is one of the big elves, right? Between... What's on my finger? Oh, blister? That's awkward. So I feel like between Llanowar and Elvish Archdruid, just like turn 1 Llanowar, turn 2 Archdruid, that should be a thing, right? That should be a thing that we can do in Standard. Maybe it doesn't matter because it all ends with a Sunfall anyway. And despite your best hopes, you're just gonna get Wrath. But if this set does not make green good and make elves good, then I feel like it's just never gonna happen. Ton of Bones. That's a nice Phyrexian Arena. Does this beat out original Apocalypse in my Commander decks? Maybe. Raise of the Past. Gonna have to do some aristocrating. Leyline Axe. Our friend Leyline Axe. So many Leyline Axes. All right. Well, I think that was a good box. Ooh. I think it was bad that I hit the camera. I think it was a good box just because of that Double Dragon pack. That Double Dragon... Come on. Stop hitting the camera. I think that Double Dragon pack was just so good that it probably carries that entire box, really. All right. Box number 3. So what have we not gotten? We have not gotten a Fractured Foil Japanese Showcase card. Those are the biggest opens in the set. No serialized card. Fractured Foil Japanese Showcase is the replacement. Sky Knight Square, Asher Animus. Leyline X, of course. Scavenging Ooze, Krenko Mob Boss. Krenko really needs haste. There's not a great way for a Goblin deck to give Krenko haste in Standard. If we get that, then I think Goblins might actually be kind of legit in Standard. Currently though, missing the haste, and Krenko's a lot less preposterous without haste. Blasphemous Edict. Exemplar of Light. I wonder if this is good enough. It seems good in a life gain deck. I just don't know if at 4 mana it's too slow. Niv, I think, is going to be popular in Commander. Authority of the Consuls. Coming back to Standard for the first time in a minute. Another Llanowar. Ooh, Heir Apparent. Heir Apparent, that's 2. So we only need, what, like 28 more and we can build a deck? Come on, collector boosters. You can do it. We need to open like 1 Heir Apparent per pack. For the rest of our opening, and then we can build a Heir Apparent deck. Maybe we got to do a Planing number tier list sometime. Kaikar, Coma, Homunculus Horde, ooh, Rise of the Dark Realms. I mean, it's a game ender in Commander. If you resolve one of these, you will probably win the game. Kellen, part 40. Speaking of things, though, not the biggest loot fan. I don't know, maybe I'm just a boomer, but not the biggest fan of loot. Also, Kellen, I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, why is this dude in every set now? Although the new Kellen, the one-drop Kellen, I think is the best. As far as competitive play, is the best Kellen they printed so far. I don't know. I just, Ooh, Atali. Primal Storm. Still popular in Commander. We can build Atali Tribal in Standard now. Day of Judgment. This is one of those surprising cards. Like, just a 4-mana... Oh, Genesis Wave. We are going to do some waving in Standard for sure. Day of Judgment is one of those cards that it surprised me that they would make it never rotate. I feel like here's my philosophy, and we're gonna have to talk a little bit Universes Beyond as we get into this. So we know that next year, 6 standard sets a year, Universes Beyond Standard legal. I think that when I first saw Llanowar Elves, Day of Judgment, and now the rest of this Foundation set, my thought was, wow, they're right of the Dragon Collar. I don't know if this card's very good for Standard, but probably fun in a Spellslinger Commander deck. But my first thought was, wow, they're actually really powering up Standard. And they announced all this before they announced the Universes Beyond stuff. Now that we see the full picture, what I think is happening is Wizards is amping up the power of Standard. And this stuff that was formerly off the table, Llanowar Elves, Day of Judgment, 4-mana Ras, God dang it, these friggin' Leyline Axes. So many. Hey, it's me, Draku Seth, probably better known as Maw Flames. I couldn't resist. Hopefully we don't open more Draku Seth, so I don't do that joke again. Be good, Pax. So I think that it's intentional. I think Wizards is intentionally powering up Standard, and some of the stuff that was a little weird, like Llanowar Elves and Day of Judgment, now makes a lot of sense in the context of what they're doing with Standard, with a Standard set every 2 months, Universes Beyond legal and Standard. So I think Standard, I'm actually kind of hyped for it. Ooh, Valkyrie Skull. I feel like this card's pretty expensive, and this is one of the better versions of it. This, I think, is a hit. This set's very weird because it's so big. Lathril, most popular elf commander. Probably not going to make it in Standard. I don't think Elves wants to go into black in Standard. Ooh, Offer You Can't Refuse. I think this is actually expensive. I think out of the lower rarity showcase cards, pretty sure, because this is like very CDH playable or whatnot, I'm pretty sure that is actually an expensive one. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm very hyped for Standard, actually. I think that Standard next year is going to be super interesting and super fun to brew in. I like bigger formats, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. I know there's downside. Oh God. Oh, not Fractured Foil. But that is a Llanowar Elf. What do you think of this Llanowar Elf compared to just like the normal Magic version? I'm not an anime fan. It doesn't really look like a Magic card, but that still just looks, I think it looks really cool. I wonder if it's worth anything. Llanowar Elf's like a 50-cent card because it's been reprinted so many times, but that is, I imagine people are going to want that for their Commander deck or whatever. It might be one of the more blinged versions. But yeah, I think Standard's going to be sweet. And the Universes Beyond stuff, I feel like Final Fantasy fits pretty well in Magic, so I'm not too worried about that one. Marvel, I don't know X-Men. So Marvel, I don't know how well that fits in Magic. I think that's going to be part of what it comes down to. Like, Loot. Herald of Eternal Dawn. Hype for this card, too. Flash Platinum Angel seems kind of sweet. You can just, it's 7 mana. It's so much mana to leave up, but boy, you can get people with this card if you flash it in. Celestial Armor. Chandra, Flame Shaper. Is this card even good? 7 mana, 6 loyalty. +2. Add triple red. Exile top 3 cards to your library. Choose one you play at this turn. +1. Create a token to copy target creature you control except as haste in the beginning of the air and sub you -4. 8 damage. Device you choose among any number of creatures and or planeswalkers. 7 mana. If it was 6 mana. It does have a lot of loyalty, though. It's going to be hard to get off the battlefield. So maybe it's, I don't know. I feel like for the amount of mana it is, it might be a little underpowered. But maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll be better than I think. So I feel like that's going to be part of how the Universes Beyond stuff works. When it's IPs that just kind of flow, like Lord of the Rings is one of the best selling Magic sets, and I think it fit really well. So I think that's one that is almost universally beloved. So I think a lot of the, Fiend art, oh, I didn't even notice this was a special guest, a Fiend Artisan special guest. That is some super creepy art. I don't know if it's worth that much though. Fiend Artisan was a card that was pretty hyped and then never really caught on. It's seen a little play in some like fringe decks, post-Modern Horizons 3 and Modern, thanks to, oh no, White of the Reliquary, those shenanigans, but still, not a ton. But yeah, I think that's what's going to determine the, yeah, that's like $100 bill. Is that scratched? Or is that the art? I guess that's just like part of the art. That card looks so sweet. I love how they formatted this card. Just like the straight down, 1 mechanic on each line. Sire of 7 deaths, 7 mana, 7/7, 7 mechanics, all in a row. Ward of 7 life. It is, it's just like the perfect French vanilla card. And it just looks so, look at that. I don't know where I'm going to play it, but that is a nice looking card. I just love the choice and putting the mechanics in the middle. Like the formatting, so good, so unique. Niv, Arabo, Loot, Slagstorm, and I mean, nothing else in this pack matters because we hit the biggin. We hit the biggin. Well, last pack of the box. Thankfully, we hit that Eldrazi, or this box might have been our worst box. I think that might carry it though. What do we get? Anthem of Champions. Hey, there we go. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. We've done pretty well hitting those. That's our third. Pretty good for being a Mythic. Time Stop. I don't know if I'm excited or dreading Time Stop in Standard. I played against a mono blue turns deck in Pioneer the other day. Oh my god, it was so obnoxious. It was one of the most annoying decks. And now we get to do it in Standard. The good news is, there's nothing I love more in Magic than annoying my opponents. So my first thought was, oh god, I don't want to play against this deck. My second thought was, I'm gonna have to build this deck. So Time Stop in Standard, it's at least gonna lead to funny moments. It shouldn't be too good, right? It shouldn't be too good. We had Discontinuity, and that never really saw meaningful Standard play. Box number 4, Kior the Rising Tide. 9 lives familiar, Ray Catcher. Das Boots. I feel like we've reached the point in our box openings that we're getting a lot of reprints. We're seeing the same cards, which is funny because the set's huge. I feel like it's adding, 600 cards to Standard? It might be more than that. Although you can't get them all in booster packs. Some of them are part of like the starter kit or whatever. Our buddy Kellen, Planar Trailblazer. This is another card that I feel like should be good in mono red, but I don't know if it works in the current pump spell. Ooh, Kaito. I don't know if it works in the current pump spell heavy builds of mono red though. A lot of, was that a 4 mythic pack? Chandra. Oh, that's a rare. Okay, 2 mythics. All right, not even close. Kellen's just a rare. Hero's Downfall. Again. Heir Apparent? No Heir Apparent. Have both of our Heir Apparents been the very last card in the pack? I'm pretty sure. If I remember right. We've opened 2, and I'm pretty sure they were both the very last card. Heir Apparent? No, Refute. Even this is kind of wild. Like, this shows how the baseline of Standard has risen, right? For a long time, Cancel was the baseline counter spell, just 3 mana counter a spell. Now the baseline, for at least the next 5 years, is Cancel, but you get to loot. So it's just, Magic is getting stronger. Standard is getting stronger. The entire game. Gleaming Barricade's not a bad hit. Spectral Sailor. Burst Lightning, I think, is a nice Standard reprint. People are already playing Shocks, and Burst Lightning, I know Strictly Better is a controversial term. Whenever you say Strictly Better, there's always someone that does the, well, actually, if you're at 74 in life and it's on turn 8 and you have exactly 3 lands, then Shock could situationally be better, so it's not Strictly Better. But in this case, I think Burst Lightning actually is just strictly better. Sky Knight, Spinner, Extravagant Replication, a fun card. So fun card to jam in Commander decks. Very slow for Standard. And off-eye you can't refuse. But it is a fun Commander card. So far, this box has been kind of floppy. I feel like, have we hit anything out of box 4 so far? I feel like we have not. I feel like it's just been a whiff. Although we've ran well enough in past boxes that... Ooh, solemn. I will say, when you reprint invitational cards, if you don't know the story of Solemn, back in the day, they did a tournament called Invitational. If you won the tournament, your reward was you get to make a magic card. So that's where Solemn Simulacrum came from. An invitational winner decided to make Solemn Simulacrum. One of the part of the rewards, kind of like the Worlds cards these days, is you're in the art. So the original Sad Robot art featured the invitational winner. The reprint, though, is just a random robot that doesn't even look sad. So I wish they would keep the invitational winner in the art when it comes to invitational cards. Same with the World Championship cards. It feels just, I feel like Alenda could be good in standard. It feels a little disrespectful, right? Ooh, another Twin Flame Tyrant. We have hit pretty well with the expensive mythics in these boxes. We've got at least 3 of the black ones, 3 of the red ones. We might actually just be killing it. These boxes might actually be really good. We've just not got a fractured foil, but the fractured foils are 1% of packs. So I'm not even sure the odds are in favor of us getting one. Even opening 5 boxes, they're just so rare. So rare. Well, this box, yeah. This box has been, I mean, I guess we got the dragon, but I feel like this is our weakest box yet, unless we hit something in these last 4 packs. We still got one more to go, though. But if this is our weakest box, the next one should be our best box, right? Lunar Insight. I'm still not sure how good this card is, but boy, that looks cool. That art is so cool. That art is really cool. Got the mana symbols in there, but just like the art in general, very sweet. I don't know if that card's good or not. Its floor is low because if you have no permanents, no non-land permanents, it does nothing. But the ceiling is like draw a lot of cards for 3 mana. If you can consistently draw 3, another great word. If you can consistently draw 3, I think it's very good. So if you can build a deck where you consistently draw 3, but it has a little bit of the same problem as that green, whatever, Sylvan Scavenging enchantment, where post Wrath, it's kind of a dead card. So I do wonder if maybe it's not going to be consistent enough to see play. It should see Commander play at least. I think it's very good in Commander. Coma, World Eater. How good is new Coma? I mean, can't be countered board 4 means it is going to be annoying to deal with at least. And if it hits you, it makes 4 3/3s. If you're actually getting a hit with it, it's kind of ridiculous. Ooh, doubling season. Number 2. We will take all the... it's cool to see Vampire Nighthawk back. For an uncommon, I feel like if you were playing back in Zendikar era, this is maybe one of the most iconic Zendikar cards. I guess the fetch lands. The fetch lands are probably number 1. But outside of fetch lands, I guess Goblin Guide's pretty iconic. I don't know. When I think of Zendikar, I think of Vampire Nighthawk. Maybe it's mostly because of limited. Ooh, boy. As well as we've run with Mythics, we have run poorly with special guests. Condemn. Not very good. I mean, it was Herald of Eternal Dawn, something at least. Swiftblade Vindicators in this set? I didn't even realize this was... This set's so big. And I was in Vegas for the start of spoilers. Every once in a while, you see a card, wait a minute. Where did you come from? Where did you come from, Swiftblade Vindicator? All right, we need to hit something in these last 2 packs, or box 4 is going to be the worst of our boxes. All right, Llanowar Elves, English version this time. Not fractured foil. It would be nice if we could open some non-commons in that slot. A Johnny, Caller of the Pride. I bet a Johnny sees play. Like, it's been a while since we got to talk about opening yet another Leyline Axe. All right, I know. Ooh, that Pride Mate. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of this on Arena. Arena players love their life gain decks. All right, well, one more pack. Fractured foil. Fractured foil, mythic vampire dude whose name I don't remember. Blood something, like every vampire. All right, here we go. Tiny Bones, not fractured anything. Exemplar of Light. Homunculus Ord. Leyline Axe. Hooray! Offer you can't refuse. That might be worth a few bucks. Anything? No. Okay, so I'm gonna say box 4, our worst box. Again, I don't know the prices because I do them at the end, so maybe it's better than I think, but I think it's the worst of our boxes. However, there's good news, which is we have one box to go, and it should be our best box, right? That's how this works. If you get really unlucky, just keep gambling, because your luck is bound to change, because that's how probability works. Oh, all right, last box. Last box of Foundations. Lunarins. Ah, yes. Sire of Seven Deaths. Non-foil, but still, I think this card is pretty expensive, even a non-foil. And it just looks so nice. Crystal Barricade. Rise of the Dark Realms. And the funniest part of this box so far, or these boxes, we've gotten 2 Hair Apparents, the common. But we've gotten like 3 copies of some of the best Mythics. So apparently in collector boosters, it's actually harder to open a common than it is to open a Mythic. Kellen, more Kellens. Homunculus Horde, Banner of Kinship, Time Stop, Krenko. I feel like there's some cards we've just... Oh, Hair Apparent. Hair Barrett. There we go, number 3. There it is. The bunnies will rule. I feel like this set's pretty awesome. I'm so hyped for this set. We're gonna have so many cool decks to build. Even like the bad cards, Thousand Year Storms and Genesis Wave, or cards that aren't like super competitive, are gonna be fun to build around. It's a nice looking showcase Rise of the Dark Realms. Spinner of Souls. Ton of Bones. Authority of the Consoles. Another Kellen. We're catching all the Kellens now. On our last boxes. I really want to just see a Fractured Foil. I just want to see one. It doesn't even have to be a good one, Wizards. Just give us a Fractured Foil so we can see what it looks like in our boxes. Arabo. Anthem of Champions. Sky Knight Squire. Day of Judgment. An offer you can't refuse. I'm gonna have to look up the offers you can't refuse. I feel like they're actually like $10+, which I think makes it the best lore rarity card. If you have the showcase one, in specific, not all of them, but the showcase one, I feel like they're over $10. Homunculus Horde, Stone Soul Sanctuary, Celestial Armor, Genesis Wave, Lunar Insight, and Prideful Parent. Oh, I thought that was a Cat Lord, the double Cat Lord for a minute, but it's not. Just a common. All right. Well, we're almost halfway through this last box. So far, this last box, I feel like we started off super hot with our boxes, but our, Progenitus, Showcase, not Japanese, not Fractured Foil, but it looks so good. It looks so good. I'm not even an anime fan. Ooh, another Bloodthirsty Conqueror. I'm glad we've opened, I think, 4 of those. That is a win. That is a win. Oops. Didn't want that card anyway. All right. Well, okay, we're heating up. We're heating up. Still a few more packs for the Fractured Foil. Can we get a Fractured Foil? Just any Fractured Foil. Sear Slicer Goblin. Leyline Axe. Good old Leyline Axe. Wouldn't be a collector box opening without a huge pile of Leyline Axes. I don't know. Leylines can be busted, right? Maybe Leyline equipment's busted too. And we look back in 6 months and we're happy that we open 10 Leyline Axes in our collector booster boxes. Ooh. Oh, Mana Foil. Curator of Destinies. Is this card good enough? 6 mana, 5/5 flying can't be countered. When it enters, you do a 4-card kind of weird Factor Fiction. I feel like it would have been, Kellen, I feel like it would have been a good control finisher. It would have been a good control finisher, expensive Sphinx Snapcaster thing. I think it was the first time we opened one of those. I feel like that card might be too expensive. But yeah, as far as the Curator, I feel like, oh, you can actually feel the mana symbols. That's kind of cool. It's actually raised. I feel like it would have been a good control finisher in other formats, but kind of like we've been talking about, oh, Kellen looks like a good mono red card, but does it work in the pump spell decks that are so popular right now? The most popular control decks are like Caretaker Talent decks. Oh God, why do we, our special guests have been so bad. Condemn, again, Zamone, Archmage Runes, 9 Lives Familiar, Preposterous Proportions. Yeah, I feel, ooh. I feel like Wizards did that just for me. This is really the only important open of the box is our foil Bugler Rat in standard forever, which means you get at least 5 more years of me in you until until you turn me off. Another Curator of Destinies. Scrawling Crawler. We're running out of time. This box is also kind of flopped. It's kind of funny. I feel like our first 3 boxes were just bangers. 2 packs to go. Come on, fractured foil. But I feel like our last 2 boxes, I don't know, maybe when we add it up, it'll be better than I think. But I feel like the last 2 way worse than the first 3. 9 Lives Familiar, Kaikar, Sylvan Scavenging, Alicia, Atali, Burner Shark, some rat cards, Refuel. All right, last pack. Last pack, last shot at it. All right, it's a fractured foil. We're going to do it in reverse. We're going to do it in reverse for the drama. So if we do this properly, this should be a token. Yup. That should be our fractured foil. These should be our rares, I believe. And then I think these are, yeah, lands, heir apparent. Nope, no heir apparent. All right, so this is the big one here. What do we get in our rares? Slagstorm foil, Loot Exuberant Explorer foil, Kiora the Rising Tide non-foil extended, Herald of Eternal Dawn extended non-foil, and fractured foil what? Oh, all right. Well, not fractured foil, but that is a pretty nice looking Phyrexian Arena. Pretty sure I can find a commander deck for that. Well, that's Foundations, 5 booster boxes. This set's so sweet. So my guess is first 3 boxes, great, great, great. Last 2 boxes, not great, not great. But I'm going to do the math. I'm going to add up all the numbers. You probably already know by now because I'm putting them up on screen. But I'm going to do the math so I know. And I'll be back in a couple of minutes with the wrap up. All right, future Seth here to wrap up our Foundations boxes. And it was a weird one. So I got to say, I love the set Foundations. The reprints are super nostalgic. The showcase treatments look sweet. The new cards are cool. So the set itself is super sweet. But value-wise, I do not know what to make of this set. So like our last opening, since we're in pre-sales, price is super inflated, I knocked 40 to 50% off the value of the non-reprinted new cards in the set because we know that's how much prices typically drop after a set releases to try to get a realistic look at the value. And using that method, overall, if you add all of our boxes together, we actually did pretty fine, right? We ended up like plus $70 in value, roughly plus $60 in value. But if you look at our individual boxes, we opened 5 of them. 3 of them were straight up losers that we lost value on. 1 of them broke even. And then 1 box, box number 2, was plus $190 in value. So pretty much all of our value comes from that 1 box. And really, it all comes from a single card, the Twin Flame Tyrant, the foil Japanese showcase version. And I gotta say, I don't have a ton of confidence in the pricing of that card right now. Same with like the Llanowar Elves. The showcase cards are just so incredibly rare. The like foil Japanese ones, they're so incredibly rare that it's super hard to get good pricing on these. I couldn't find completed listings anywhere where people actually bought the cards. They're out of stock on pretty much all the sites. And the few copies I could find listed places were like $250, $300. Whether or not it's actually realistic that we can get $250 or $300 for that Twin Flame Tyrant, I don't really know. Same with the Llanowar Elves. Like, I couldn't find any of those showcase Llanowar Elves sold anywhere. But if you find listings, they're like $150 or something. And I just can't get myself to believe that someone's actually paying $150 for a fancy Llanowar Elves. So I listed them for $50, and I'm still not even sure people pay $50 for them. So all this to say, whether or not we actually came out ahead on these boxes is almost exclusively going to depend on how well we can do on those foil showcase cards, right? If we can get somewhere near what people are asking for them, we are going to come out pretty good on these boxes. If it turns out that that Twin Flame Tyrant is actually $50 instead of $250 once people actually start buying the cards, then it's going to look a lot worse. But it is notable that out of our 5 boxes, 80% were break even or worse, and 20%, the 1 box, was actually profitable. So keep that in mind. If you're just opening 1 box of Foundations, it seems pretty realistic that you could kind of low roll, not hit a good showcase card, and end up losing value. So it might be one of those sets where overall you're just better off snagging singles because the risk is too high and you're so dependent on hitting one of those ultra rare showcase cards. But like I said, this set's super cool. So even if the value is not good, it's still really fun to open. Of course, if you need any any of the cards we open today, you can snag them from our sponsor Card Kingdom over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. And if you want to sell some of your cards, you should head over to cardconduit.com/mtggoldfish. Anyway, everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our Foundations opening, and I'll be back in the future with another one. So until then, have a spectacular day, and I will talk to you soon. Looking for even more magic? Well, you can check out our Mystery Booster 2 opening here, or maybe the video where I bought magic packs from a dollar store. Today we're cracking open more than $1,000 of Duskmourn. Can we find some double exposure foils, some sweet Japanese showcase treatments? Let's find out. All right, so we got 5 booster boxes to open up today. We're gonna move these over here for now. We're gonna let's start with this one. This looks like a good one. So this set's pretty interesting. So in Duskmourn, the biggest hit, there's no serialized cards. The rarest card, I believe, is fractured foil Japanese showcase cards, which you can get, let's see, what's it say here? 0.3% of the time, 0.3% of the time in the final slot of a collector booster. But box number 1, this set's so sweet. I am a big fan of Duskmourn. Also, for the prices this time, some of the feedback from the last opening is prices were too high, which they are, but it's just because it's preview season. So I'm going to do my best to estimate, I think, what the actual price will be after the set's opened. So if it's not exactly the same as Card Kingdom or whatever, that is why. Trying to price in the price decrease. All right, get through all the commons and uncommons. All right, land number 1, sure. Ghostly Dances. I actually kind of like this card in a room deck. I think it'd be cool in rooms. Ooh, Ancient Seller Spawn. There's a couple of cards from the Commander precons that might be busted in Legacy. Ancient Seller Spawn is one of those cards, and this is one of the chase treatments, right? This is the only place to get the extended border, so might actually be kind of valuable. Velgobos Leia. Having an enchantment land is pretty neat. I want to see what some of the cool foils. Ooh, Doomsday Excruciator. That is a... It's a lot of black mana. There are a lot of black mana symbols in there. And, ooh, Zamone All Questioning foil. All right, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I mean, it's a prime open. And the copy token. I won't do that every Zamone, I promise. Well, I can't promise, but I will try not to make that joke every Zamone. I'm still making the, oh my god, it's like me Helix joke, and it's been, what, a few sets since we got that reprinted? All right, let's zoom through these commons and uncommons. We got a lot of this card, my god. Withering Torment, maybe the best, the most played, I would say, commander card from the set. Also, more black enchantment destruction, my favorite thing. Saw, like the movie. Fear of Exposure, like A Way to Die. Diversion Specialist, Mountain, and Entity Tracker. It's kind of funny. I know my stance on the color pie might not always be consistent. For some reason, the black enchantment removal, I hate it. Blue Enchantress, though, whatever. Simone's Hypothesis, Demonic Console. This card I love. It's just so funny. It's a demonic tutor that then becomes a demonic tutor. The showcase style looks pretty good in person, I think. Leyline of Resonance. I'm pretty sure this card is broken. Turn 2 kills in standard. Here we come. And, ooh, okay. Special guest, Unholy Heat. I mean, that does look pretty nice. Why am I getting a shadow? What is possibly shadowing? What is possibly shadowing on this card? But, yeah, I mean, not the highest value special guest, although in general, the special guest cards, they're always valuable, right? Just because of the fact that they're scarce. So even an Unholy Heat, which is a very good card, although it's kind of funny, it was a very good card during Modern Horizons 2. Now that we have Modern Horizons 3, Galvanic Discharge is the hotness for removal. All right, there's not really any super high-end commons or uncommons in this set to worry about. There's some like okay stuff that's a couple of bucks or whatever, but nothing super big. Room number 1, Roaring Furnace Steaming Sauna. This card's actually pretty sweet. No max hand size is something I like in my commander decks. Winter Cynical Opportunist, the commander precon version. The Jolly Balloon Man. What? Man, the art in this set's so creepy. It is so it's spectacularly creepy. Thornspire Verge. These lands are... Why is I gotta wait? Is that... Oh, that's part of the art. I thought that was a printing error, but no, the gray spots are part of the art. Okay, it's just part of the art. These lands are interesting. I think they're definitely good. I don't know if they're like busted. And, ooh, all right. Demonic Tutor that is the Demonic Tutor and becomes a Demonic Tutor in foil this time. I mean, if you're playing a Delirium deck, it is straight up Demonic Tutor. Getting Delirium is tricky, though. Getting Delirium is not perhaps as easy as people maybe think. If you haven't played with Delirium sets before, it takes some work. Oh, upside down pack. Hard to tell with the rooms. All right, get through. Wow, look at all those lands. Look at all those beautiful lands. Actually, speaking of lands, the common lands are pretty good for commons. They don't have a land type, but coming into play untapped a decent amount of time is pretty decent. Not bad. Emerge from the cocoon. All right. Let's see. Land and Central Elevator Promising Stairs. Very likely the first against odds card from the set. Anytime we get a win the game card, even if it requires 8 rooms on the battlefield, I am down to take the challenge. Demolisher Spawn. Unstoppable Slasher. These do kind of look like a cheesy 80s movie, don't they? The showcase treatment does kind of pull it off. Enduring Tenacity. Probably the strongest part of the set. One of the strongest parts, definitely in the Enduring cycle. And the black one's pretty good. You need the right deck for it. And a Twitching Dowel. Twitching Dowel, not the best though, but there's going to be a lot of these because this is like, what, a bundle promo or something? It's one of the promos for this set, so would be surprised, even though Twitching Dowel is not bad, I'd be surprised if it actually had that much value because there's just going to be a million copies out there. All right. We're not quite halfway through the box. So far, no super big hits. Bunch of commons and uncommons. Dashing Bloodsucker, Haunted Screen. I do love the flavor of this card. The like turning the black and white TV into the real TV. It's just like such a neat design. Not like a super powerful card, but Leyline of Mutation. Probably the weakest of the new Leylands, I would say. Deluge of Doom. Some Delirium sweeping. Overlord of the Boiler Biggles. Our new Inferno Titan, non-foil. Wait, did I skip a card? I feel like I skipped a card. Hey, Abhorrent Oculus. This card. I feel like it's a trap. I feel like it's actually going to be too hard to get 6 cards in your graveyard to cast it early. But if you can, it's obviously absurd, right? If you're a self-mill deck that can pull it off, it is ridiculous. Thornspire Verge, foil, and... Oh, that's the end of it. All right, so far, nothing, no Japanese cards. Those are the big hitters. Japanese Showcase, Fractured Foil. Basically, it's kind of funny. Even though there's not always serialized cards, there are cards that are similar to serialized cards. Sorry, red comment. Yeah, my bad. Boiler Biggles Ripper. Unwanted remake. Schwamp. The basics do look pretty good in this set. If you like horror-y stuff, like, look at that creepy spider moth Velvagoth. Speaking of Velvagoth, we found his lair. Shrinkwood Devourer. Chainsaw. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of my favorite horror movies. He's doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. Why do I keep skipping cards? Toby. Beastie Befriender. Little nerd boy. And Marina Vendrell. Man, the art's just like... It's really cool. Like how it's laid over itself. It just looks, it's almost like, it's not exactly, but it reminds me of like those old holograms in the 90s. If you remember those 90s cards with the holograms where if you shift them in the right angle, the picture changes. It almost looks like that, which is kind of cool. So far this box kind of feels like a bit of a dud to me. But that could change at any moment. Well, not when we're going through commons, but once we get through the commons, it could change at any moment. Forest. Overlord of the Mistmoors. Our new white Grave Titan. Gleeful Arsonist, our commander card from the side. What does this do? Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, deals damage equal to its power to that player. Oh, and it has Undying. Okay. Okay, kind of a cute little hate card, I guess. The Swarm Weaver. Ooh, my favorite room, Fractured Realm, Mirror Room. I mean, it's like a super Panharmonicon. It is 7 mana, so it's a lot to get going, but once you get it going, Head Shredder. Ooh, this card is absurd. This card, ooh, is that like a textured foil? No, that's just what the card looks like. It is foil though. This card is one of the most ridiculous ramp spells. Just ramping any land that you mill is just a ridiculous ability. Like, I almost cannot believe that ability exists on a Magic card. It seems so over the top. All right, what do we have? Say my name. Some Breaking Bad action. There are some good tropey card names in this set. Popular Egotist Island and Unidentified Hovership. RUFO. These vehicles are going to make a lot more sense once we get to the Death Ray set. Maybe the worst rare in this set, I think, Omnibus Trap. But remember the next set, not Foundations, but the next actual set, RIP, is a Death Race planner set, the Mind Skinner. Might have to send this one to Krim. He's obsessed. Krim loves Mill, and he loves this card. I don't even know what this art is. Where's the Mind? Is this the Mind Skinner? I guess that's the Mind Skinner. It is a cool card. There are some neat synergies with it. I'm more excited about trying to like prevent the damage from being prevented or whatever than milling people out with it. I don't know. Maybe in Standard it could be fun to mill people out. It seems very challenging to get enough attacks to mill out a commander table though. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 packs counting this one left to go. Terramorphic Expanse. Why did they bring back Terramorphic Expanse? Also Cynical Owner. Good uncommon. Fear of Abduction. Let's play a game. Lots of Saw references. Enduring Courage. I think this is maybe the least valuable of the enduring creatures. The Master of Keys, one of the backup commanders. Kind of a cool card. Being able to escape all the enchantments in your graveyard is pretty sweet. Split Up. This card's very intriguing. I don't know if it's good or not, but 3 mana Wrath, even with some hoops to jump through. See, double Enduring Courage pack, really? Really? Give us a good, and another Leyline of Mutation. Leyline of Mutation might have value just because people like their lazy color fixing, but.
Download Kita now and get 50% off and free delivery from all your favorite restaurants.
Exile Doc Ock, you can now pump your team, draw up to 8, and go wild on card advantage. So yeah, let's see how we do in the early access event. Yeah, I keep this. The question is, do I start with Exclusive Nightclub? Very nice of them to turn Oscorp into a Capenna setting. I like that. I dig that. If I go Gobin, Jeet, Splice Savant, whatever, front side's irrelevant, Fleam, the People's Champ themselves, I think I'm just going to try this out, okay? I'm going to go ahead and play... Uh-oh, I might be in trouble. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to try to Fleam it up. I just need them to not do what I think they're going to do because I'm going to try to copy their Doc Ock. Uh-oh. How does this go for me? Oh, this is not going to end well for me. That's how I've gotten this so far. All right, so I take a 5-burger. Sure will. I'm going to throw away this Exclusive Nightclub to then play the Nightclub. I lose 2 more life. But I get to blow up Tursa eventually, maybe? I don't know. I'm curious, like, when I should be playing the Abrade here. All right. So I'll take 2. There's a world where maybe I should be getting rid of Fear of Missing Out, but we'll find out if that's a thing or not. All right. I have all my mana. I would like to copy Nevero, so I'll swing. Sure. Then I'll throw away my own Nevero. I see you've also got your own Nevero. But then you'll draw a ton of cards. Big pain, big pain. All right, I'm going to go ahead and discard a card to kill the niche. Throw away a land. Just go ahead and draw a card. Nice. Okay. I get to draw and discard a card. I mean, getting Trampolator might be relevant, so if I throw this away, I get a treasure. And then I can go ahead and just use the treasure and immediately play Marauding Malco. Then I fill my hand up again. My maximum hand size is 8, so I get to draw the difference between whatever my hand is in 8. Feels good. Is the opponent going to kill my Fleam? That's the big concern here. Oh no, they just got back their body with like their superior Spider-Man. I think I might be dead here, right? Because if they get their superior Spider-Man, they get to go swing again. Oh, nice. Okay. Wait. Oh, this is 2 additional combats. Very nice. So they get to do it again. That's pretty cool. Okay. I can't block it. So GG's. I don't have Menace anymore. So that pretty much wraps it up. And then now they get another combat and I die. Well played. That's sweet. And then now they get to do all that stuff that they're going to do. GG's. I think I have to mulligan this hand. Okay, this hand is much more doable. Throw away a removal spell. Okay, nice. I don't want to take too much damage, so I'll go ahead and just play Watery Grave. And then now all my lands are online. Oh no, this is bad. They're doing some kind of ramp nonsense. We are in so much trouble. Oh, I wonder if they're using Eddie Brock. That'd be so cool. It would be a shame if I stole it from them. All right, so they have an Overlord in the yard, which means I can play my superior Spider-Man and then steal their Overlord from their yard. This creature enters, you may mill 2 cards. Okay. Strong. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you know what? I'll just go ahead and play Mako. We'll go ahead and swing. This card is Death Touch, right? Do I want a mountain? Do I need double red at any point in this matchup? Maybe, but I already have that, so may as well just keep the fun going. Can I steal this card from them? Let me read this real quick. Power and deficit, you can have the lands you control can't be blocked by power 2 or less. Okay, sure. Yeah. I'll just take 3 and I'll kill the Chitin Gravestalker. Let's go ahead and exile their Sandman. I'm going to swing. Let's see what I find. I'll gladly throw away this land. I don't need any more lands. Thank you. I don't know if eating that was better than eating an Overlord, but I guess we'll find out, right? Okay, I'll just discard my 5/4, right? Who cares? That draws me another card. It does have Mayhem, but unfortunately I can't cast it on their turn, so... All right, let's loot. Oh, that's nice. Perfect. Okay, cool. What do I have in the yard that can even come back? Oh, yeah, right. I got the big man. The diamond weapon is here. That's a little unfortunate. So I don't really see much change from this opponent. This is Reach. That is Menace and Death Touch. Okay. Never takes any damage. I guess we'll just do the Watcher on the road. Let's spawn a ton of bodies, and then I'll just go ahead and pass. Duskmorn, at the beginning of your end step, 2 target players each... Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see how this goes. All right. Perfect. I mean, yeah, I think we go for it, right? We just got to swing out. And we get there exactly with on the back of unblockable little Gobin. We never actually saw Fleam, though. That's my only complaint. I don't have the engine I need. So this is too heavy on the curve. I guess this is better than nothing. I kind of love this card. I'm going to actually send one of the Ruziks back. So I have Grixis mana. Perfect draw. Assuming they don't kill it, of course. I really need to get to that mana. So, oh no. I'm getting got by whatever nonsensical, this is my natural foil. It's Peter Parker. versus the old Fleam Goblin. Okay. Sweet. I'm going to swing out. Okay. I'm now going to go ahead and just play Inti. Inti will give me another body. Do I care about web slinging here? What could they web sling in? That's fine. They'll just kill their own creature if they do that. If they want to web sling their own creature back, that's perfect. They don't get any, like... Oh, nice. That's awkward. I'll throw away a card. Sure. I'm going to give this to... Oh, that's so bad for me. Okay. I don't want to draw any of those, actually. So, I pass. I didn't want to exile any of those. That feels kind of bad. Oh, no, not the turtle. Okay. So, let's see what that does to us. So, next turn, I probably want to just pay 3. I'm going to just pay 3. I don't want to discard anything. All right. Here we go. I'm going to ditch the Nia, a.k.a. Doc Ock. Finally, a land. Oh my god. Do I want to shock that in? No. But I do want to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and have... All right, there it is. Now I get my own Doc Ock. Fill my hand back up. This feels pretty good. Right, that's a draw like 140 right there. So I won't take that. I won't say no to that. Wait, is Doc Ock kind of like secretly correct? Is it even a secret? So let me get this right. They can't do anything about Doc Ock. So I may as well just do this then. That's fine. You may discard a card. When you do, put a counter on target creature. It gains trample. So. Ooh. Nice. And they lose. GG's. Does this actually have any No, I need more. Okay, this is much better. What am I sending back? No, I like Skivix? I don't know what they're calling this. But whatever it is, I know it's Symbiote Spider-Man. I like my 1-drop. I like my 2-drop. Maybe we just sent... No, but that guarantees me a big part of the puzzle, right? This gives me perfect Grixis. That's a black-red land. I may regret this, but at the same time, whatever. I'm going to send the giant body back. All right. In I go with my little Meowscarade, my little spider cat. Okay, so they're on Grixis as well. Oh, man. Now I wish I had my villain leader. Well, maybe they'll throw it away and then I get to exile it with my own Superior Spider-Man. Dude, Superior Spider-Man has been really good so far, by the way. I don't know what's been going on. I mean, maybe everybody understands that's the best run of Spider-Man. Okay. I guess I'll just go ahead and play my good old Skivix, the Augmenter. Symbiote Spider Hero. The art on this is wild. Use like a Bitter Triumph, throw away Doc Ock, so that I could just exile it with my own Cavero. Oh no. They have that? Oh, I'm in so much trouble. Okay. So, put one of these into your hand. Why, this card I would like to put in my hand. It's Baby Boy. It's Ruzik. Be an island and enter tapped. Okay. Come on, this is pretty much Super Night Veil Spectre, right? Oh, this is so good here. Oh my god. All right, so they're going to have me lose 3. Kill my little friend there. Then they're going to cast Death Flame Burst. Woo! That's nice. Okay. All right. Let's go for it. Put one of them into my hand. The other into the graveyard. So I'll go ahead and just play this on black now. Enters tapped. So I've got the Grixis mana across the board. Why am I so afraid? Like, because they haven't done anything, right? And they might just be Rakdos. FOMO. Okay. Come on, throw away something good. Okay. This has haste, but that's it. I'm going to play my own Monument to Endurance. All right. I may regret sending... Create a treasure token. I do have the Villainous Wrath, which is nice. All right, now I regret bottoming Doc Ock. Now, don't I feel silly? If I exile the FOMO, I don't got to worry about shenanigans. I'm going to grab the FOMO here. This would allow me to go ahead and discard a card and then draw 2. Ooh. Nice. I'll draw another card. 3, 6, 7, right? Yeah, okay. Let's see how they respond here. Sure. Is this just going to be a game between who has more Monument to Endurance? Because I don't play a full play set. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Oh, they're going to play their own Ruzik here. Come on. Play into my board wipe. Play into my board wipe. All right, I take 3. I just hope they don't have the thing that web slings and then counters a instant or sorcery. That's mega sag. Okay. Nice. All right, so they have their own little insight thing. That's going to keep going off for a while. I need to exile their other FOMO, right? Or deal with the FOMO in their yard. Alesha, okay. I would get a 4/4 copy of Alesha, but I don't know if that's anything that I really want right now. Uh-huh. I gotta draw another card here. So, now I'll just play my own Ruzik. Oh boy. Okay. Nice. Quint's Insight. I think that's Shadow of the Goblin or whatever. If they swing, I'm definitely blocking, right? You got it. Have at it. And then we play another Ruzik. Right? Oh, they draw another card? Solid. But do they dome me for 3? No. Okay, I take 1. Boom. Down to 7. Oh, wait. This might cook. This cooks so hard. I mean, I just got to try to fly, right? And get into the air here. And then now we got the I'm going to attempt to kill with Fleam. That's all you can do. We just got to try to kill with Fleam. Do we get the Fleam W? Fleam, baby! I don't... Oh, actually, I do have some discard action here in Inti, so maybe this is worth keeping. Yeah, I'll try this. And if they play a 1-drop, I'll just pick it off. I may regret keeping a 2-lander, but, you know, it's fine. 22 lands left in the deck, right? I got to draw it eventually. All right, what do they got? What do they got? Black mana. Oh, boy. I do not have a red source because this makes a black mana, the Verge. I don't know. Let's see how they play this. If they play like a 1-drop I want to pick off, then, you know, kill it, play Mako. Nice. Okay. This is exactly... Wait. Why do they have the ability to respond? Okay, cool. Pay 3 or discard a card. We can't do it at instant speed, right? All right. I'm going to go ahead and play my own Mako now. What does that say? Pay 3 or discard a card. Sure. They're down a lot of cards, so I can see why they're not. All right, they ditch another Kivni Orb Weaver. All right, so that grows their current Kivni Orb Weaver. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to throw away the Nightclub. No, they won't trade. I like that. Okay, so this means I take 2. I lose my ultimate Green Goblin, but it's fine. +2, +1. Woo! They just got a Carnage out of that? That's wild. And now they get to grow some more. Oh, this is gross. Pop off, baby. That's so sick. All right, let's see what they draw. 6/4. Please and thank you, as always. Love pain. It's a hobby of mine. Next turn, they have to attack. All right. Let's see how this works. Do I get more value off this?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I need to get this Cavero out. That'll draw me a ton of cards again, getting me to the sweeper mana that I need. I can block the 6/4, take a 6-burger elsewhere. I could be dead here too, though. Who knows? Okay. What is that? Flash? Oh, that's Swarm. Okay. Nice. If I double block this, it has Trample. I would take 7, so I take more anyways. So, sure, let's just have these trade then. May as well just take the damage elsewhere, right? What do I do about this here? So they have a 4/3. Well, definitely I'm not going to shock. That's a given. I'm going to just blow up the board. And then now this gives me a chance, right, to claw my way back into this. No way. They got another. At any point, do I have time to just breathe a little bit here? That's the question. Pay 3 or discard a card, right? I'm going to choose my color to be red, and it'll be entering tapped. Go ahead and just blow them up again. That's another 2-burger. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Right? We play here just like this. I'm going to play Kitty. Kitty's going to swing in. I'll sacrifice. I'll discard the Carnage or Desecrix. Let's have opponent lose 3 life. Drew a new burger. And then I just get back Kitty, wait until their turn, and then I pop on their turn. And then now they lose another 3 life. Woo! Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you like that, check out this deck where I use Dragonback Assault, bunch of ramp like Ice Till Explorer, and spawn a ton of dragons.
Today we're looking at 9 weird and sometimes scummy Magic the Gathering plays that actually forced Wizards to change the rules of the game. Number 9, Pithing Needle, Borborygmos. During the top 8 of Star City Games Charlotte in 2016, Bob Wong's Grishol Brand Reanimator deck was matched up against Bradley Carpenter playing Birthing Pod. In Game 1, Bob's deck did exactly what it was trying to do by reanimating a Borborygmos Enraged and using its activated ability to discard lands to deal 3 damage each until his opponent's life total hit 0. After dying to Borborygmos Enrage's ability in Game 1, Bradley Carpenter sideboarded in Pithing Needle, an artifact that lets you name a card and then stops any activated abilities from that card, with the goal being to shut down the Borborygmos kill. Luck was on Bradley's side. He had a Pithing Needle in his opening hand in Game 2, which he immediately played, naming Borborygmos to stop his opponent's combo kill and ensure a fair game of Magic. Or so he thought. A couple turns later, Bob drew the cards he needed to combo off, if only that pesky Pithing Needle wasn't around. But then Bob had an epiphany. He quickly left the table to go talk to a judge.
And it looks like he did name Borborygmos, so we have Gristlebrand and Borborygmos named with these Pithing Needles, just like we thought was going to happen with Bradley's sideboard. Yeah, so it looks like Bob did have a rules question away from the table. He's back. I imagine he was able to get the answer that he was looking for.
When he returned, he proceeded to execute his combo, reanimating Borborygmos Enrage and discarding lands to its activated ability to deal damage to Bradley.
Oh, did he name the wrong one?
We can see Bradley try to stop Bob by pointing out the Pithing Needle that was shutting down the activated abilities on cards named Borborygmos, to which Bob responds, he's not activating Borborygmos, he's activating Borborygmos Enraged. Part of the issue here is that Borborygmos is a Magic card. While everyone involved knew that Brad met Borborygmos in Rage, the card he had just lost to the previous game, by just saying Borborygmos, he was technically naming another legal Magic card, and in the end, the judge backed up Bob's sneaky play, giving him the Borborygmos in Rage kill in the win. As a result of the play, the community was even more enraged than Borborygmos, especially since everyone involved knew what card Bradley was naming with Pithing Needle when he played it, and it wasn't until later in the game that Bob realized there might be a way to rules lawyer a free win out of what Bob called a unlucky communication error. Bradley accepted the loss in stride, perhaps in part because of a prize split he had negotiated before the match, but Bob felt the need to address the situation in an article on Channel Fireball, in which he stated that his opponent's intent with Pithing Needle was 100% clear, and that the spirit of the rules were on Bradley's side. While Bob didn't go as far to actually apologize for stealing the win, he did say that he learned to be more careful with his decisions and that good sportsmanship is more important than simply winning. As a result of the play and the uproar surrounding it, Wizards decided that the spirit of the rule should be the literal written rule. Moving forward, players wouldn't need to say the exact name of the card they were naming with Pithing Needle or a similar effect, and instead they would just need to make it clear so both players understood what card they were naming. So, for example, Bradley could have said the Borborygmos you played in Game 1, or even just Borborygmos in that context probably would have sufficed. They also clarified that if there was any uncertainty about what card was being named, the opponent should make that player clarify. What this means is, under the current rules, Bradley naming Borborygmos would shut down the Borborygmos in Rage, because everyone admitted they knew what card he was talking about, even though he didn't say the full name of the card. And if Bob was actually confused over which Borborygmos Brad was naming, which Bob admitted he wasn't, it would be his responsibility to ask Brad to clarify which Borborygmos he was intending to shut down. Have a Borborygmos you just gotta stop? Well, you can snag a Pithing Needle and more from our sponsor Card Kingdom over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Number 8, the sneakiest Dryad Arbor of all time. Dryad Arbor is a unique card. While there's many lands in Magic that can turn into creatures, Dryad Arbor is the only land in Magic that is always both a creature and a land, and this has led to an interesting problem. Where do you put your Dryad Arbor on the battlefield? Traditionally in Magic, the battlefield is laid out in a pretty specific order, with lands in the back and creatures in the front. Well, unless you're Adrian Sullivan, but more on that in a little bit. So where do you put a Dryad Arbor that's both a creature and a land? Well, when Dryad Arbor first came out in 2007's Future Sight, this wasn't really that big of an issue because the unique Future Sight border really made Dryad Arbor stand out on the battlefield. It was almost impossible to confuse it for a normal land, even if it was backed by the other lands on the battlefield. But this changed in 2012 with the release of From the Vault Realms, which reprinted Dryad Arbor, but with a normal border and with some art that made it look almost indistinguishable from a normal foil forest. The where do you put your Dryad Arbor issue finally came to a head at GP Leon in 2018, where in round 6, Hall of Famer Gabriel Nassif battled not just his opponent Thomas Langlots, but perhaps the sneakiest Dryad Arbor of all time. Nassif is playing Hollow 1, while Langlots is on Boggles. On turn 3, we see Langlots play his land for the turn, a Dryad Arbor, which he places back beside his lands rather than up in front with his creatures, and the announcers even point this out during the broadcast.
Yeah, and also remember that's a Dryad Arbor, again, tricky but quite relevant, especially in the face of something like the menacing Flameblade Adept.
The next turn, Nassif, in typical Yellow Hat fashion, takes an agonizingly long time to figure out his attacks. Eventually, he swings with a flock of flying Flamewake Phoenixes and a menacing Flameblade Adept, trying to sneak in some damage past his opponent's only blocker, a huge lifelinking Slippery Boggle. As soon as the attacks are declared, the Dryad Arbor jumps into action, joining the Boggle to block the Flameblade Adept, much to Nassif's surprise and chagrin.
So I don't think he sees the Dryad Arbor here. Yeah.
Gab picks up the creature land multiple times, looking at it and putting it back down in befuddlement.
Incredulously checks out this Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, so this is because of the art on this one compared to the one from Future Sight. This one is less apparent that it is actually a creature, and the way Thomas played, he just put it alongside his land and it does look like a regular forest.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual situation. Of course, the Future Sight version of Dryad Arbor, very, very clearly an unusual card. This one much closer to simply looking like a forest.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have been talking about this, have talked about this in the past, that it is actually deceiving to play a card like this, because it really doesn't really stand out. It's a foil land, basically foil forest, and the text box is just the power toughness is just so small. You can't really see it. But I think Gabriel and Steve decided to I should have probably paid more attention.
Before finally conceding the game. This play led to a huge conversation in the Magic community. Some questioned the ethics of springing a sneaky Dryad Arbor block from your mana base. Others called for the Dryad Arbor, or at least the From the Vault printing of Dryad Arbor, to just straight up be banned. Eventually, Wizards issued some new rules about where cards must be placed on the battlefield, which clarified that Dryad Arbor must be placed with your creatures rather than your lands, making the sneaky Dryad Arbor block a punishable offense in competitive Magic. Number 7, the colorless Cavern of Souls. Cavern of Souls became an all-star in tribal decks across formats pretty much from the day it was printed in Avacyn Restored, thanks to its ability to make creatures of a type of your choice uncounterable, while also fixing your mana. But in its infancy, Cavern of Souls wasn't nearly as powerful as it is today because of a weird quirk in the rules. If you read Cavern of Souls closely, you'll see that the land gives you two options. You can tap it to add a generic mana, or you can tap it to add a mana of any color, but you can only spend that mana on the creature of the type that you chose when you played your Cavern of Souls, and as an added bonus, if you choose the colored mana option, it also makes the creature uncounterable. Seems simple, right? Well, not exactly. Let's say you have a Cavern of Souls naming human on the battlefield and you want to cast a Reflector Mage. So you tap 2 Hollow Fountains and your Cavern of Souls and cast your Reflector Mage. The Reflector Mage can't be countered. Or can it? Well, according to the original rules on Cavern of Souls, your Reflector Mage was still very much counterable. This is because there was a weird rule that the default mode on Cavern of Souls was that it made generic mana when you tapped it. If you wanted your Reflector Mage to be uncounterable, you need to tap your 2 Hollow Fountains in your Cavern of Souls and explicitly say that you were making blue mana or white mana with the Cavern of Souls, even though there's literally no possible reason that you would want to make generic mana with the Cavern of Souls in that scenario. And this rule was as horrible as it sounds and super easy to abuse, which led to all kinds of scummy rules lawyering plays where someone would try to cast a creature with mana from Cavern of Souls thinking that it was uncounterable, only to have their opponent do the rules lawyering gotcha thing and point out, haha, you didn't specifically say you made colored mana with Cavern of Souls, as they countered their creature. The good news is this rule only lasted a couple of months before it was reversed. Under the new rule, if you use Cavern of Souls to cast a creature of the type that you had named, the default would be that everyone assumed that you made colored mana with Cavern of Souls and the creature was uncounterable, which was a devastating blow to rules lawyers everywhere. Number 6, LSV accidentally creates the London Mulligan rule. The Mulligan rule has a long and storied history in Magic, to the point where it might be worth doing an entire video on the hows and whys of its changes over the years, but today we're focusing on the creation of the most recent version of the Mulligan rule, known as the London Mulligan rule, for the location of the tournament where it first went into effect. Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica was literally Wizards' dream. Their most popular pro player, Luis Scott Vargas, probably better known as LSV, not only made the top 8, but managed to grind his way all the way to the finals with Boros Aggro. Even better, LSV and his opponent, Andrew Ellenbogen, split the first 4 games of the finals, setting the stage for an epic climax to the tournament with a winner-take-all Game 5 for $50,000 and the trophy. And then disaster struck. The players drew their opening 7s and Andrew quickly keeps his. Meanwhile, LSV looks at 5 lands and a couple of medium cards and mulligans. At the time, Magic used the Vancouver Mulligan rule, where every time you mulligan, you draw 1 less card. So first you draw 7, then 6, then 5, and so forth. But then if you mulligan, after you were all done mulliganing, you would get to scry 1 before the game started.
Luis is on a mulligan and you can see it. Yeah. He's feeling it on his face. He is just going, please just give me something that I can keep.
Yeah, he had a hand of 5 lands, a Healer's Hawk, and a Benolosh Marshal, and deemed it not worthy.
Oh no.
Luis Scott Vargas is going to 5 cards in the finals.
So LSV draws his 6-card hand and gets a 0-lander and immediately mulligans again.
When you're going down to 5 and you just want to draw Healer's Hawk, Pride into History of Benalia, need to have kind of that ideal opener. Is there even a land in this
There
hand?
is. It is a clifftop retreat. He's got a Tribunal, a Baffling, and a Sky Marcher.
That hand is extremely poor.
Luis Scott Vargas is mulliganing to 4 in the finals of the Pro Tour.
LSV draws his 5-card hand, sees a 1-lander and a bunch of expensive cards that he can't cast. This time he thinks for a while and then mulligans again. Finally, LSV draws a 4-card opening hand and keeps a pretty medium 1-lander out of necessity. You can't really mull to 3, you just have no chance with a 3-card starting hand. Andrew quickly ran over LSV in Game 5, thanks in large part to the fact that because of the mulligans, he started with nearly twice as many cards in hand, and what went down is one of the least climatic endings to a Pro Tour ever, and this led to a big conversation in the community about the mulligan rule, with some players stating that the anticlimactic ending of Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica was a reason to change the rule. For his part, LSV in his tournament report said that the mull to 4 was pretty crushing, but he didn't think that the rules needed an overhaul or anything like that. It was just bad luck and part of the game. Well, LSV might not have seen his misfortune as a reason to change the mulligan rule. It seems that Wizards did. While they never explicitly stated that the infamous mull to 4 was a reason behind the change, just a couple months after the Pro Tour, they announced that they'd be testing a new mulligan rule.
This is a really exciting part here. We're actually testing out a new mulligan at this event. Wow. Yeah. That's not news to me because we heard about it before the show. But I wanted the reaction. So tell us about the new mulligan rule that you're testing. Right. So first of all, explain how the mulligan works, and then we'll talk more about the motivation behind it and that sort of thing. Yep. So the way that it works is if you choose to take a mulligan, you always draw back up to 7 cards, and then once you're satisfied with your 7-card hand and decide to keep it, you put a number of cards from your hand back on the bottom of your library equal to the number of times you mulliganed. So let me give an example. So I draw my first 7-card hand, and I don't like it for whatever reason. I have no lands, whatever. I decide to take a mulligan. I shuffle my hand back into my library. I draw a new hand of 7 cards, and this time I like it. I decide to keep. So I put 1 card from my hand back on the bottom of my library and keep 6. Okay. So you're still going down from 7 to 6 to 5 and so on, but each time you're getting to look at 7 new cards before you decide whether to keep and commit to that, and then putting that number back on the bottom of your library.
After a test run at Mythic Championship 2, Wizards implemented the rule game-wide with the release of Core Set 2020 in June of 2019, and the London Mulligan rule was born. Number 5, the Between Turns phase. So before we get into this, I should say the Between Turn phase isn't technically a phase. If you read the Magic rulebook, phase actually means something and refers to like the steps you take to complete your turn. The Between Turn phase isn't a technical phase. It was just this weird period of time that existed between turns where certain things could happen. The Magic rules were really weird in the early years. So for a brief period of time between the release of 5th edition in 1997 and 6th edition in 1999, there was this weird phase that wasn't actually a phase that happened after one player's end step, but before the next player's untap step, which became called the Between Turn phase. And the reason this weird space of time existed was it was to give a window for certain triggered abilities, and most specifically the untapping of Time Vault, to actually work